we're all well. So these club meetings are a growing community of people from all over the world, people that have great knowledge in the hobby and people that are new to the hobby. But it's a great place. There's a great community growing. So why not have a flick through and see what you think? Join us on a live chat. It's brilliant. It's going to be 4 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, British Summer Time at the moment. That is a move from the afternoon meets that we've had for the past few weeks. And then Saturdays will be a meet from 2 p.m. So hopefully you can all pop into the live chats and join this absolutely brilliant growing community. Because it really is. It is. I'm not just saying that. It is a growing community. It's absolutely brilliant. Good afternoon, Flames. How you doing, buddy? Flames, what's your name, mate? Just so I'm not saying Flames all the time. I've got a bit of a list going of people that come on. Unless you don't want to give me your name, obviously. I'll just stay as Flames. Well, whatever you want me to call you by, mate. I'll call you Flames if you want, buddy. It's not, it's not a problem. So today has been a bit of one. I've decided the shrimp tank's been a little bit of a niggle for the past week or so. Keep looking at it. I'm not really happy with it because I just leave it alone and just let it do its thing. And I kind of had to do like a 50% water change on it a couple of days ago, and yeah, it was pretty bad. It got pretty bad. So I've been down to my local fish store today, and I've put some. I already have air running in it through the filter. It's just a little sponge filter. So I've split the line, and I've got an air stone in there as well to try and get some movement because there's just a few dead spots. So I don't want a lot of movement in the shrimp tank. So not a problem. Not a problem, Flames. I'll just call you Flames, buddy. It's not a problem, mate. Just we have another guy that comes in the plug, and it just felt weird calling him the plug. So yeah, so I've added more air to the shrimp tank today, so that should be quite interesting. See how that goes. See if it helps just get rid of the dead spots, you know. And then later on today, I do have a video released at 3:15, which is my CO2 tank build. I have done a couple of build videos before, but it's a learning curve. MD does it really well, I must say. And it's a learning curve, but this time I've kind of like just filmed the whole day and then put it all together. So I'm hoping that people like it, to be perfectly honest. It's not really something I do a lot of because I can't afford to, obviously. So I kind of wish I had done this one though. I really do. So that's one. Does anybody run CO2 in their aquariums? And if they do, I might have a few questions to ask. Significance, thank you for joining us today. Are my shrimps hiding or are they dead? Right, mate. I've had the same dilemma. tell us a little bit more about your setup, buddy. How long have you had them? Is there plenty of hiding places? See, I always used to think my shrimp were hiding. I did, and kind of not. They were dead. They were dead. And I've tried with. I had the Caridina, crystal reds and crystal blacks. So I had them in a tank. And it was really, really weird because it is now, the tank's totally changed now from when I had them set up like this. So the CO2 tank that I have running now, it's been a CO2 tank for about 18 months. And I had a piece of wood in it, and the wood had a hole straight through it. So it was on its side. There was a little clown pleco in there. So the wood was great for him. And I'd set it up so there was like a nubius going around the wood and, like, say, this tunnel going through. And everything seemed to go into the tunnel and never come back out. And it was like really weird, mate, really weird. And then every now and again, I'd see a shrimp swim past. And I'd easily put 30 shrimp in there, easily into this Caridina shrimp tank. And when I broke it down, I was still unsure whether I'd have shrimp in there, to be perfectly honest. But when I broke it down, there was no shrimp in there. So it depends how long your tank's been running significance, to be honest. Because you can set an aquarium and how it's cycled, but once it's cycled, doesn't mean it's ready for shrimp. So you need to wait like another 6 weeks or so, really, so it gets a build up of like biofilm. Biofilms, when you put your hand in the aquarium and move some furniture, be it a stone or a submarine or whatever, if it's got that slimy feeling on it, that's the biofilm that you're looking for your shrimp to survive. No matter what, they're always just like picking away at that all day, so they do feed on all those little microorganisms. What I'd say significance is, when you feed, do you feed into a dish? So I feed into these little shrimp dishes, and I have it stuck on the side of the aquarium with a little suction cup. So if you feed into that, target feed into there, if there's nothing else in the aquarium, feed into there and sit back and see if anything comes out. And then if nothing comes out, I'd say that they've died. But yeah, I've been through all this, mate. Now, a really good mate of mine on YouTube, Fish Keeping Answers, Richard at Fish Keeping Answers. Right, I'd try and get, because your shrimp need feeding, buddy. They will need feeding. I would try and target feed them somewhere and see if they come out to it. One thing, like I did, right? So do you know it's the filter media that's like a circle, like a thick polo mint, if you will, or like a lifesaver if you're in America. That type of filter media, you can glue them all together and build structures. It's like they're really good, and they are really good for shrimp because all the little shrimp will go in there and nothing can get to them. So if you could get like a little dish to feed them in, and then build like an igloo kind of thing over that, or some kind of structure over that, and try and target feed them and just see if anything comes out. But yeah, it's mad, mate, with shrimp. But yeah, go and see Richard at Fish Keeping Answers. He's a mad shrimp expert. I had pure problems, mate, with my shrimp tanks. I did, and then got watching his stuff, and now I have one shrimp tank that's a great colony, which I've just kind of let go a little bit, like I say, as I've just put some air into that to try and get some circulation, and I've just moved a colony from there over into my CO2 tank. So, and they're doing okay. There's some buried in there now, so it's a tank aquarium. Yeah, I would, like I say, mate, I would try and target. By the way, is hair algae good for shrimp? Hair algae is not great, mate, is it? It's not great for anything, really. I know certain fish will eat it, but I don't really think the shrimp will eat it. Even the Mano shrimp, I don't think they eat blackbeard, to be honest. Hair algae, sorry. I have hair algae in my shrimp tank, mate. I do, because there's that little flow. You kind of get that, don't you? And what I've just done, I'm just trying to cut the light down because my shrimp tank's fully planted as well, so it's one of them in it. But no, it's not a bad thing, mate. It's not great, but it's not a bad thing. I've kind of learned to live with my air algae a little bit, mate, because it's kind of growing on the wood, so it looks a little bit more like a proper natural scape more than anything, really. Jax, thank you so much. That is just amazing. If everyone can show Jack some love there for the donation and supporting the channel, that's just incredible, buddy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Show Jack some love there, guys. Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you. I'm touched. I'm touched. I really am. It means so much when people support the channel. Thank you, Jax. Not a problem. Significance. That's hopefully you stay in, mate. And I'm learning loads of stuff in here. Loads. It's been really, really good. It has been really, really good. It's been an incredible past few meetings, really. It's people from all over the world are coming in on Friday now, aren't we? On Wednesday, guy came in and he's a seahorse breeder, and he was kind of like talking all about that. So it's just crazy, isn't it? He came in talking about seahorse breeding into a club that's just like 2 weeks old, really. So yeah, it was really good to get this guy to come in and talk to us as freely as he did about it. It was really good, really interesting. We have people from America that have been coming in. I'm just trying to readjust a little bit. I can't even see myself today because of the chat. I don't really know why. I've not changed the position of the tripod. I've not changed the position of my chair, and I'm a lot lower down today. So it's like, I must have shrunk. Crazy. Monthly paycheck finally came through, so got to send some love to you. Thanks so much, Jax. Honestly, it's I really, really do appreciate it. I do. Yeah, mate. I can't thank you enough. It really means a lot. It means a lot. I do put my heart and soul into this channel recently. I've actually just taken 2 weeks off work, as you probably know. Hence why we've been doing the lives during the week. The lives will move now, guys, to Saturday will stay the same at 2 o'clock, but we are going to move the midweek, well, the weekly ones to 8 p.m. That's British summertime. They're going to move to 8 p.m. It's just going to, I'm back in work, unfortunately, on Monday, and we'll move the meet. So hopefully everyone that's in now can still join us in their meetings. Might be a little bit better, especially nowadays. In the evening, there might be a few more people join us. Who knows? So hopefully they will. Like I say, same meeting tomorrow, 2 o'clock, and then we'll do once I've done the tank maintenance, we'll have a bit of a chat. So I do launch a video today at 3:15 on my channel, which is the long-awaited CO2 tank build, long-awaited by me to get it out, to be perfectly honest. So hope everyone kind of watches that and enjoys it. Go easy on me because it's my first proper tank build video. Not my first tank build, it's just my first proper tank build video. So I'll be intrigued to see what you think about it. Daniel Richards, thanks for joining us, mate. Thank you. How are you doing? In Denmark. Lovely, mate. Lovely. Great work. Really great content. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you. Your channel inspired me to get Bowes Mining Rainbow Fish. Thanks very much. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Thanks for your kind words and your support. It means a lot, buddy. It means a lot. If you can always just remember to click the like button. That's all I ever ask. That's all I'll ever ask of people. Just click the like button and share, because if you share it, it kind of spreads the word a little bit more as well. But no, thank you. The channel's growing, to be perfectly honest. Since we've been doing the live club meets 3 times or 4 times a week, since I started them 2 weeks ago, I think I've gained like 150 subscribers in the past 2 weeks just through doing the lives. So that's really good, because that just helps grow the channel even more. And we are getting some great people in. Yeah, Jax, algae's it's a nightmare, isn't it? I wish there was an easy solution to ending algae, but I think it's something we all have to live with, Jax. I really do. I know you can, like, I'm dropping the lights in my shrimp tank at the moment, and I am going to start dropping the lights a little bit in the rainbow tank as well, because I did up the lights in the rainbow tank, and now I'm getting a bit of algae on the Anubias. Well, quite a lot of the algae on the Anubias, to be perfectly honest. It's not great at the moment. So I'm going to try and drop them, but I don't want to drop them too much and then cut the light off to the lotus. The lotus is really low down at the moment since I trimmed it back, so I don't want to cut the light back on that too much, you know, and ruin that. Yeah, Jax. So, Jax, do you run CO2 in your tank out of interest? Or do you keep your red plants just through light? Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a play. 3G, thanks for joining us today, buddy. Welcome back. Hope you're well. Hope things have. Hope you had a good couple of days over the past few days. My jaw's not woke up yet. Yeah, CO2, high ferts and RO water. Wow, man, yeah. I probably need to talk to you a bit more. Yeah, so I'm just kind of starting on the CO2 journey, me, Jax. Well, I kind of started 18 months ago, but I like to try. I'm a bit of a trial and error person. I'm a bit of a nightmare, really, because I can go and watch videos on how to do something, but I'd rather kind of learn myself, which is a bit silly, really, when I do a YouTube video trying to teach people how to do things. But I don't really involve the CO2 tank in my content. I just did the build, and so it's a learning curve for me. And red plants, I want redder, but it's what types of red plants are the brightest reds, you know. And I've got it's like a gold stem plant, and that's kind of going a bit funny. I don't know whether it's lighting or fertilization. So when you're fertilizing, Jax, how often? What do you fertilize with for a start? I'm using like APT3, which I think is an all-round fertilizer. I think for tanks that I've got a few fish in there, from what I can gather. But I don't know whether I need to be like introducing other fertilizers. So it depends how much plants are mostly fast-growing plants. You have its paths. Right, so yeah, you see it. My new one now. So I've got dwarf airgrass at the front. Behind that, Rhinochi Mini. Then I've got a row of Anubias that's built on a wall, if you will. And then behind that is like I've staged it into 2. Behind that, it's just Clustrius Super Red on both sides, and then this gold plant in the middle. Just one sec, I will find the name out of this gold plant. I can't just keep calling it the gold plant, can I? Because this is, in all fairness, it's the gold plant is the one that I'm really struggling with. Well, I'm saying I'm struggling. It's kind of curling up at the top, And I don't really know why it's curling up at the top. Bear with me a little, just a sec, mate, because I don't know what you like, what everyone else is like, but I keep all my labels so I know what plants are what. And so, okay, so the plant I'm going on about, Jax, I don't know if you'll know it or not, but it's that. Let's see if I can get that in focus. Is that in focus? Armenia pedicellata gold. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. And it's kind of like at the top, it's kind of like curling up at the leaves. It's not like it's forming proper leaves. It's like they're just stuck in that position. So I don't know if it's anything that you've come across, mate, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I don't know. It's a learning curve, isn't it? But right, is it like really hard to look after? It says it's average, but like I say, there's only one of the stems though that's gone like that. All the rest are okay. It's just this one stem, but it's got me to thinking: is that a deficiency that they're all going to get, or is it not? Yeah, 3G. It just depends what level plants you go to, mate, doesn't it? Like I'm loving the CO2 thing, mate. I am, and at some point I will probably introduce it into this tank here, and then change the plants out. I'll keep the lotus because that just looks amazing. But yeah, it's I'd like to fill that with using Monte Carlo as an epiphyte and have it creeping around all the rocks and that, because that's how originally I was set up to do. But I'm not really that good with Monte Carlo. Oh right. So do you think it's probably nothing I'm doing wrong then, is it? CO2 is steroids for plants. It certainly is. It certainly is. Here's one then, Jax. Have you right? So so I started my CO2 tank. It will be like round about 18 months ago. I started off just with the Tropica biomix thing, where it's like a yeasty, sugary solution, and within 2 weeks, I've noticed the difference, and I just like kind of binned that off and went like pretty much balls deep. I got the CO2 art regulator because that's the one like everyone really recommended, and I got a 5 kilogram fire extinguisher with CO2 because it was £30 at the time on Amazon, so it was like buzzing. So I got everything right, got the bubble count right, so everything was like, so my dropper was like lime green, and I believe that's kind of where you should be keeping it. If different, let me know. And the gas canister ran out on me last Saturday, so I had to wait till Monday to go and get a new bottle. So there is a place around the corner from where I live, and we just swapped it out, and it cost me £60. Was it £60? Sorry, it cost me £30 to swap canisters really for another 5 kilo, and I've hooked it all back up, and the bubble count stayed the same because I didn't touch any of that, obviously. And I noticed that there weren't enough CO2 going in. So my question to you, Jax, have you noticed on your CO2 when you've changed bottles in the past like 12 months, say, that the strength of CO2's not like as strong? Is that right? You know, because like they're saying that there's a CO2 shortage, aren't they? And that's why CO2 went really expensive. And you can notice it on some fizzy drinks. You can notice it when you open a bottle. They're not as fizzy anymore as what they used to be like 3 years ago. So have you noticed your CO2 not being as like concentrated, if you will. Don't know if it's, or is it just something that's happened to me, and it seems like my bubble count's faster now, you see. I'll be pecking your head, Jax, with with CO2 stuff. Now I know you do CO2 because, like I say, I'd rather talk to someone than, you know what I mean. It's we can all watch videos, and I shouldn't be saying this because I do videos, but we can all watch videos, but it doesn't always. In all fairness, though, I should say this because all my videos are based around what I do, you know. So my videos don't tell you how to do things. It's kind of like how I do it. This is how I do it, and it works for me. Might not work for you, kind of thing. So I dose around 5 to 8 bubbles. This is on my 200 litre. It's quite high. My 2 goes on for 10 months. Yeah, see, mine's probably around about probably 2 drops every 1.5 seconds, if you will, roundabout, or maybe 3 drops every 2 seconds ish, roundabout. So, but like I say, my bubble, my drop checker's back to normal. It's doing well, but what are your thoughts and experience with floating plants, Daniel? Yeah, Daniel, I love floating plants, mate. I do think they have a place in your aquarium. I do like, I can't think what it's called. There's one that's got like a really long roots, and I had that in my aquarium for a long time, to be perfectly honest. But it kind of like killed the flow. Barjan Paul, just stop spamming the chat, mate. I've not got to you yet. So yeah, I like the long root ones, but they kind of stop the flow a little bit. So, but I love them, and I love red root floaters. Although you kind of like don't want a lot of flow with floating plants, do you? Especially like certain ones really can't handle the flow. But I love them, mate. I love them more than anything when you're setting up a new tank. If you're doing it the traditional ways that takes 6 to 8 weeks, I just think floating plants do a job for you when you're cycling a tank because of the salvinia that's just like a rapid grower. So yeah, I love them, mate. I love floating plants. I've actually just taken out. I had some floating plants in my shrimp tank. I had red root floaters at the top, and I also had a floating moss. Riccia, so I think it's called Riccia. And I had that, and it was like a lime green moss, and it kind of looked proper good. But because it was floating moss, I had it secured, but it kind of looked like it were always trying to float. So it was just pulling itself away from the thing. So it's kind of lost the effect I wanted. But yeah, mate, have a look at that. I think it's Riccia. I think it's called Riccia. It is a floating moss. Proper beautiful, mate. And that grows really well, and it gives you a good mist. In a shrimp tank, awesome, because them little baby shrimp are all in there, keeping safe. Ah, right, okay. Didn't realise that, 3G. Thanks for that. CO2 builds less pressure in cold temps. Yeah, it is in my lounge, mate, to be honest. So it's kind of round about the same temperature, but yeah, it was a bit weird. Barjan Paul, hi. Thank you for spamming the chat with 20 highs. You come over a little bit needy there, buddy. And yeah, you just watch which floating plant is it that goes crazy. Is it frog bit that goes crazy? Once you've got it in, can't think what it's called. That has just like proper slipped my mind. Floating plant that just goes nuts when you put it in your tank, and like it's pretty much, if you put it in your tank, you're doomed, aren't you? It just stays there forever. I struggle to keep them with high flow. This is it, Daniel. Yeah, high flow. They don't do great in high flow. What I found, because my tank's 4 foot, so I kind of got away with it a little bit in there, and I was looking at a way of maybe securing, maybe like putting some kind of frame on the surface that would hold the floating plants at the front, but they just like, the flow is just too much on big tanks. So yeah, I love them, but they are more for like hardly any flow aquariums really, for them to thrive anyway. What I found with the ones with the long stem, with the long roots, I just used to have to, if I kept them like really thin down, they were okay, and they'd just stay at like the other end of the aquarium, and the flow didn't really do them that much. But if you kind of didn't get the chance to remove them all the time, they'd end up with just a big clump of floating plants, and it was just, yeah, they can be a nightmare with flow. There's some great, I can't think what it's called, mate. They have really long roots. They're great just to have a few of them going about, because the roots grow to about 8 to 10 inches, if not more. And if you've got fish that won't destroy them, they look great. I did put some in the rainbow tank, and the rainbow fish just munched them. So, but yeah, but they are bloody great plants. The ones, the floating plant with the long roots look awesome. Kind of get that jungle vibe, you know. Wow, 5 litres for £15, Jack. So whereabouts are you? Are you in the UK, Jax? And yeah, I've paid £30, £30 for 5 kilo. And now I say it, now you've said that, and I realise that's quite expensive. And now I'm thinking, God, I traded in I lost 4 years on my bottle as well. Checkmate, yeah, yes, yeah. All right, oh, it's just the UK then, mate. everything is just like crazy. Everything's crazy. Yeah, that's it, Daniel. Thank you, my old man brain. Yeah, mate, duckweed. Oh my God, you just like hear horror stories of it, don't you? And you just can't get rid of it, and you think, you know how many videos I've watched where people have said, I stripped this tank of duckweed and there's still duckweed in there, because I don't know where it goes. It seems to like hide away, doesn't it, and come out. But yeah, it's duckweed. That's the one. It gets crazy. The only thing duckweed's probably good for are ponds, because like I have a koi pond down at my mum's, and if you put duckweed in that, I have tried putting duckweed in that, but the koi just eat it. So, but I suppose if you can find that level where it keeps a happy medium, because they're a different world, ponds, aren't they? Totally different world. Best use of duckweed is to keep it dry, make a powder, and add some food gelatin, and make duckweed dough balls. Oh, Jax, you're on, mate. That sound. You know what? I do like the sound of that. I do. That sounds like a great idea. To be honest, Daniel, probably not. No. I kind of. I'd like to. I'll probably show. I think I've shown photos of it before. It's not a massive pond. It's like a 750 litre thing. It's not huge. But yeah, I wouldn't want to broadcast my YouTube from somewhere else. I don't really think my mum's internet would cope with it anyway. But yeah, it's a bit of a mad one, mate, because my mum is my #1 fan on my channel. She watches all my videos. She pops up in the chat. She has gone out today, otherwise she's normally in the chat. And when YouTube look at your hours, if I started doing a show or doing like a live stream from my mum's, they'd join the connection together and wipe them watch hours off, which is a bit of a, apparently this is what I keep hearing anyway, so probably not, mate. But at the moment, you see, my channel's more, I'm like rainbow fish based content, which can stretch into the community kind of aquarium content, just for the niche of trying to get noticed on the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, so I may do like I may film down there one day and do a little video. But I'll be honest with you, mate, I don't really know much about ponds. That pond is a learning curve for me. It's took me like 3 years to keep it clear during the summer, and yeah, they are they're proper difficult because you can't control what comes in and out of a pond, or you can control what goes out of it, but you can't control what goes in it. They're a nightmare. They really are a nightmare. Alexandra Stoner, thanks for joining us today, buddy. Beautiful ecosystem tank. I keep an angel among other South American cichlids. Nice, mate. I bet that's good. If you're on Instagram, buddy, I'd like to, if you can follow us on Instagram, same thing, BGN Aquariums. Yeah, mate, I'd like to have a look. I would. I like to have a look at everyone else's stuff. Gets you, inspires you, doesn't it? It does. It inspires you. Let's try and move around a little bit. Okay. Let's try and carry on. Ryan J. Hall, thanks for joining us today. I'm really good at kicking the tripod. I do have shrimp, mate. Yeah, I've got. I do have 2 tanks of shrimp at the moment, both red cherry. So I have a red cherry shrimp aquarium that I've actually just introduced more air into that today to try and get a bit of circulation going. So I went down to my local fish store and they've got more shrimp in there now, and they had yellow shrimp, and I kind of wanted yellow shrimp from a CO2 tank, but last time I went down there they didn't have any, and I'm not really one for waiting. So I ended up making a little shrimp trap in my shrimp tank and then transferred them over. So yeah, I've got 2 colonies of red cherry shrimp, buddy. But I love them. I love them. They're a different branch of addiction, I think, to the aquarium hobby. I hope you'll agree. Okay. Jax on speaker, listening to me waffling on. Thanks, though, Jax. I appreciate it. What leafy red purple plant is that? Okay, mate, that is a lotus tiger lily. I'm really struggling today, kicking the tripod. It's a lotus tiger lily, buddy. It's so it's a bulb plant. They're easy to care for. There is a care guide on my channel for this plant, because this is a plant that you train. It can be 2 totally different plants, this. So you can train them up. If you let the lilies get to the surface, then it kind of acts more like a surface plant, and it'll send lilies up to the top, and there's a chance you'll get a flower, which great if you've got a rimless aquarium and no other plants, because they'll just like block all the light out. Or you can, every time you see a runner getting up to the surface, if you trim that off right near the bulb, as close to the bulb as possible, you end up getting this bushy plant, and that's like, it's getting there now. As you can see at the bottom, there is a lot more like little lilies that are forming bushy at the bottom, and you end up with this bushy, beautiful plant. Right, Ryan, you know what? The shrimp trap was the easiest invention in the world, right? Yeah. So small jam jar, washed out obviously and rinsed out, so there's no soap in it. I the shrimp trap. So this, I'm going to sell you the shrimp trap now, mate, and you'll be like, wow, you made it sound like it was something really good, and it's just so simple. So little small or jam jar, just a normal jam jar, washed out. I used Repashy gel food, put a bit of food in the bottom, put it in the tank, went away, made a coffee, come back, 10 minutes. There was about 10 shrimp all eating the food. Out, trapped. Poured the water, poured half of the water out of the jam jar, and then drip acclimated them from the other tank. And just kept like taking like syringefuls of water out the jar and putting it back in the aquarium. And yeah, and that's how I did it. And acclimated them over like about a 90-minute, 2-hour period. Sounded really good, the shrimp trap, didn't it, mate? And it's just a bloody jam jar with food in it. But it worked. To be honest, right, so I kind of used the same method. I introduced some nearite snails into this aquarium, but they were all female and they dropped eggs everywhere, and it kind of like proper wound me up, really wound me up. I didn't like these white eggs all over the show, so I went and got some clown loaches. And the clown loaches went in there and they finished all the eggs, because there's not much things that'll eat the eggs and they won't rot away. So, and the clown loaches ate all the eggs, and then they ate the snails, and then that was it. Nothing would breed in there because they're all egg layers, and every time they attempted to lay any eggs, the clown loach were like boom, straight in there. So yeah, these kind of helped me out with the shrimp, with the snails, sorry, and then they kind of like destroyed the happy medium that I had going on in there. So getting, if you can imagine, getting 5 clown loach out of there, nightmare. So what you notice when you target feed the bottom feeders is that the clown loach were the first in there, all of them. Boom, boom, no one else can get in there because the clown loach are there. One net, big net, in there, wafer, an algae wafer, into the net. 2 minutes later, every single clown loach was in the net. Just lifted them out in one go. It was like genius, and I've kind of adapted it for the shrimp. Worked really well. It doesn't require anything, Alex. Say it's a bulb plant, so you don't bury the bulb. Do you know the ceramic weight plants? We get them in the UK. You kind of get these orange ceramic plant weights, and I got 3 of them. So I just put the bulb on top, and I kind of put 3 plant weights around it just to wedge it, because you can't bury the bulb. And after 6 weeks, it kind of rooted itself. I removed the plant weights, and it was fine. And then we are not supposed to bury the bulb, but what it's done, its roots have pulled the bulb under. So we aren't allowed to bury it, but if it buries itself, I ain't moving it. And I have one in the other tank as well, not looking as great at the moment because I cut that right back a few weeks ago. So that's now like gonna grow back. But no, they don't need any extra iron or anything, mate. It's just I just fertilize these tanks with the fertilizers that I use. I do them daily because that's what they recommend. But then today, someone on Facebook said, "Why are you doing daily?" I fertilize my plants daily because that's what it says on the bottle. But sometimes you start questioning, do you fertilize daily? But I have had a bit of a chat with Jax, and I think I'm doing all right. Yeah, Ryan, it works, mate. It works. It's just, but now you know how to do it, mate. Call it the shrimp trap, though. It just sounds a lot more professional than stick a jam jar with a bit of food in it, doesn't it? Bodge Hubbard, thanks for joining us today, mate. That is a Lotus Tiger Lily. There is a video on my channel, which is an intense care guide on them. And yeah, it's beautiful plant, mate. Dead easy to look after. What was the very first thing that got you into the hobby? Where did you first see an aquarium? It is an addiction. Right, Daniel. So, right. So my dad had fish before I was born. I believe he kind of got rid of him for me. But he regrets that. And so he was always, he always had like, he's always been into aquariums, my dad. When I was 8 years old, my primary school teacher, we, for the last 2 years of primary school, we had a teacher called Mr. Beatty. I'll just call him Mr. Beatty. And so the first year we go in, first time with him, and he's got this fish tank. 8-year-old I was, and it was just a community tank. We did a few lessons on it, and I think the point that I can remember where I fell in love with fish was a Friday morning. We used to always have a maths test on a Friday morning, and during the maths test, I looked over because my table was right next to the fish tank, so there was always that magnetism there. And I looked over, and one of the mollies was giving birth, and all these little babies are plopping out, and I was like, Mr. Beatty, the mollies are having babies right in the middle of this maths test, and like everyone just jumped up. You can imagine, can't you? Everyone just jumped up out of the chairs and like crowded around this tank, and yeah, we kind of like blew the maths test out of the water. We were all watching it. I think that's where I proper fell in love with fish, and yeah, it wasn't long after that we got an aquarium, and then I got 2. I used to have piranhas at some point, and then kind of life got in the way. Probably about 15 years ago, I ended up getting rid of my tanks, and then I'd started watching MD fish tanks and saw how much the hobby had changed in like the last 10 years with plants and things like that. And yeah, kind of decided to get an aquarium, and then 3 months later, so I set up the rainbow fish tank, got a 4-foot aquarium. I wanted to go bigger because I just think you can get a better display. I like to think myself as a bit of an artist sometimes. So I got the 240 litre, and everything in there was kind of having babies, and things were getting eaten. And I thought, oh, I'll go to the shop and I'll just buy a smaller tank just to put the babies in, let them grow out. Happy days. So yeah, so I've got my 240 litre. I'll go into the shop to buy a smaller tank and come out with a 300 litre. Yeah, and it wasn't long after that I did my shrimp tank, and then after that the CO2 tank, and it's just growing, isn't it? You sit there. So I had 3 aquariums in here, and I was like, no, I can't really get in anymore. And I looked and I thought, you know what? My coffee table would look good with a fish tank on there. I won't take the weight. Anyway, 2 days later, the coffee table would take the weight because I did a bit of work on it, and ended up getting another tank. But I'd end up with loads, me. I've no self-control. I'd love a school of barbs, Alex. I would. That's definitely where I'd like to go. I have been seriously considering removing the angels out of here and going for a tank of barbs. But there's 2 breeding pairs, and I kind of like that. But they don't. I like my angel fish, don't get me wrong, but they're not exactly the most lively fish. So on the last stream I was discussing this, and I said that there's an angel fish, and he's been on every stream, he's been above my left shoulder because he doesn't move. There he is, he's still there. Just, you know what I mean? He moves when he thinks he's getting food, or she, I should say, I think. And well, he doesn't go. So you kind of like, yeah, I'd like something with a bit more movement. A school of barbs would be awesome. I like tiger barbs. I'd like to go like 6 green, 6 albino, 6 of the emerald, which are like just a little bit lighter than the green, aren't they? 6 normal tiger, and then yeah, I just think them shoaling together would be awesome. I do fear, I fear for that though. I don't know whether the lotus would survive a school of barbs. The white ceramic rings, you know what I do with them? And Mark Shrimp Tanks, actually, he did a great video on it. And so I copied him. I've never done a video on it, but yeah, he did a video on it. So the white ceramic rings that you put in your filters, Mark Shrimp Tanks, like, glue them all together and make things. And like I made this triangular thing that for my shrimp, because all the little baby shrimp go in there and it just gives them a bit of sanctuary. They're great, and you can make some really good things. You can make igloos and everything. It can look awesome. Or like make an igloo with or a box with these filter media, ceramic filter media, and then this is right. So this is what I'm thinking of doing, just for a bit of an experiment. So I'm thinking of making one of these like a box out of it. And then I'm going to get some Java moss, and I want to blend it with a stick blender, so you get this green liquidy paste, like liquidy paint. Yeah, blend it, water, moss, blend it all up, and then you paint the structure with all these little like blended up moss, and then you'll put it into like a tank and cover it over and spray it a couple of times a day so it's nice and humid. And like 4 to 8 weeks, all that moss starts growing and clinging to the thing, and then like over time it'll just be a box of covered in moss, but that moss will be like secured on there. And we all know when you're going wrapping moss onto something or gluing it on, you can't do it proper, and over time it looks unsightly, doesn't it? This is the way forward though. And I really want to do it. I want to do it, and then I'll probably kind of like move a few plants out of my shrimp tank setup and put this dome in there. And then you can keep the moss trimmed, and you'll just have a perfect dome of moss. A bit like Teletubbies, I suppose, if everyone remembers the Teletubbies. Adam, thanks for joining us today, buddy. Can I curb the aggression of the Buenos Aires Tetras? They are quite an aggressive fish, buddy, aren't they? You could always try. I don't know your setup, obviously. Try adding some plants, long stem plants, just to break the sight of vision. You know, so they're not always like seeing them all the time. Can just help calm things down. I keep Crebensis and rainbow fish in the same tank. People say you can't, and you can, because mine's heavily planted, so they don't really see each other, you know. But yeah, Buenos Aires Tetras are quite aggressive, aren't they? It's their nature, buddy. So you could try plants, but I wouldn't try. No, the painted flower. Oh right, sorry. It's a Bodge. Sorry, mate. I thought you meant that. No one's asked me about it. It is a Banksy, mate. It's not an original, but no, it's a Banksy print, buddy. If you wanna, it's that one. He actually takes 2 yellow on the actual site where he did that. He draws 2 lines from the double yellow lines and goes up the wall to make the flower. It's just, I think he's quite talented, isn't he, Banksy, mate? You know, it's a Banksy bodge, but not a real one. Jax, that's brilliant. Apparently you can't stand on them, can you? Because they do stink. I've never had one fart though. They're a crazy looking thing, those, aren't they? Quite magnificent, really. I don't think they're native to the UK anyway. But nice, Jax. Yeah. Hope you're enjoying yourself there. Aidan, yeah. So hillside loaches, yeah. There's something I've looked at actually. They are quite nice, aren't they? There's something, because they're different, aren't they? They are beautiful, yeah. I think Alexander. I do think How much do you think the plants filter or replicate the ammonia and nitrogen? I think they have loads, mate. I really do. Obviously, like your mechanical filtration with all the surfaces that you're creating in there for the beneficial bacteria, that is always going to be your main source, isn't it? Especially if you do stock your tanks, which obviously I do. But with the plants, they feed on the ammonia, they feed on the nitrite and the nitrate, but then they also offer a massive surface area again for beneficial bacteria. So yeah, I do think they help a lot, Alex. I really do. I'm a big supporter of live plants over plastic, and I know I'm not against plastic plants. I have actually recently done a video about the difference between live and plastic plants. I'm not against them. I'm not. Probably the only thing I feel like, obviously, there's so many beneficial things regarding live plants to plastic plants. They have the benefits just outnumber them massively. But my main issue with plastic plants is that they don't look real. And I think sometimes, like, if they look real, then it'd give people the chance to maybe do mixed tanks. So, like, a lot of people struggle getting the plants, like, massively red. So if you could buy a plastic plant that looked real, that was a nice bright red and replicated something that's naturally bright red, then people could introduce them into the scapes and just break a scape up completely, you know? But sadly, plastic plants just don't look real. Just look plastic. Yep, Daniel, multiple tank syndrome. Yes, I don't think there's many. So a few weeks ago, I polled on YouTube and Facebook, how many tanks are you currently running? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, yeah. And within 2 days, I redid the poll because of what people were answering. I redid the poll. How many tanks do you run? 0, 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 20 to 40, 41 plus. That was like the level of response that I got. It was like 4. Well, yeah, amateur, and I thought, God, I only have 4 and I run a YouTube channel. But yeah, it's mad, isn't it? But on saying that, some people were sending me pictures, and a lot of people have like buckets of water we were planting. So, and they call them tanks. I should have probably said more. How many tanks do you have that you're running at the moment that are scaped? You know, because that's kind of what I was kind of looking for. But you have ember tetras and emeralds with your angels. Yeah, Aidan, I do. I've got cardinals. There's about 20, 25 cardinals in there. When I nipped down to the shop today, at the moment, cardinals are quite expensive. And I don't like spending a lot of money on smaller fish. There's certain fish that I don't mind spending money on, but like cardinal tetras, I've got 25, I want 50. So at the moment, to buy another 25, it cost me a small fortune. So, and I have red phantom tetras in here as well. And another one, I like fish that school together. I like fish that school together. Alexander, thanks, buddy. Emerald Rasboras, Aidan. You know what? I love. They may be the same one because you find like wherever you are in the world, or they all get called different things. So the other day, a guy was talking about black skirt tetras, and I was like, never heard of them. And when I came off stream, I was like, I need to check out these black skirts. And like in the UK, we just call them black widows. So I was like, I'd never heard of them. And technically I had. But emerald rasboras, are they kind of the neon green rasboras? Are they, Alexander, Aidan? I look, because they are, I do love neon green rasboras. I think they are awesome. They are beautiful. To be honest, I like quite a lot of the rasboras. There's some gorgeous, like the chili rasboras. They're pretty cute as well. Tiger barbs for T-bones, RIP. Yeah, mate. Shari, good afternoon, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're well. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm well behind on chat. Have you ever kept a dwarf crayfish? I haven't actually, significance, no. Actually, my mate I was talking to you about before, Fish Keeping Answers, he does. And I'm kind of hoping he puts a video together about them soon. They're a little bit, I think they get a little bit too big for not for my tanks, but for my setup. Because I'm like heavily planted everywhere, and I think they'd want somewhere where they could sit in a rest maybe sometimes. I kind of know what I mean. I don't think my setups are right for a crayfish. The stench is long lasting, is it, Jax? Oh my God. I know they say don't stand on them because they do stink, but I've never had one fart, I don't think. Or maybe they have, and I've always blamed the dog. I don't know. But did it fart on your face, Jax? Oh, mate. I shouldn't laugh, but when things happen to other people, it's funny, isn't it? Have you ever kept a giant fan shrimp? Sam, another one, no, but I would like to actually introduce them. I like them. I do like the fan shrimps. I do. There's something I'd like to add to both my shrimp tanks, my CO2 tank, and that. I call them jazz hands because they got jazz hands, aren't they? But yeah, they're awesome. There's something different, aren't they? And I kind of like that that vibe when you see something different. I do it a lot with plants. I bought a Nubius grassalis the other day because I've never seen it before. It's like a triangular leaf kind of thing, like that. That's not any mad sign, guys, either. That's just showing you the shape of the leaf. Yeah, and they're awesome. They are awesome. Any tank mates which don't kill shrimplets? Well, to be perfectly honest, buddy, they are all going to have a bit of a munch on them. But I keep endlers in my shrimp tank, and I think if it's heavily planted, so those shrimp are nice and safe, you're going to be okay. But they are going to always munch a few of those shrimp. You know, they're going to be, because it's just every other fish's natural food, technically, isn't it? But if you give them enough hiding places, mate, Java moss is the main one because it's quite dense. The shrimp can live in there, and the fish struggle getting in there. So Java moss is always a good one, buddy. I hope when my plant gets bigger. So far, I have 39 gallons of 14 live plants, roots, double filter, small wave maker. The top shrimp loaches been over there is clown pleco, white skirts, and tetra. Nice, Aiden. That sounds awesome. I'm just going to come back. Have you ever kept giant? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Sam. I've just come back and reread your message. I'd get some, yeah. I'd get some, definitely. I'm not sure. I'd just research it a little bit, Sam. And I'm not sure if you kind of have to feed the water column, or do they just naturally just feed off everything that's in the water column anyway? I don't know if you have to target feed them. Because I target feed my shrimp with bee pollen. So I'll get some warm water in a little glass jar, and I put bee pollen in there, and then just leave it for like half an hour, keep stirring it till it all dissolves, and then I pipette that into my shrimp tanks because it dissolves, so it's just a liquidy powder, but it's full of protein, full of goodness, and it goes about, and all those little shrimplets that have just hatched in your aquarium that can't move yet, they just stay where they are munching away. It just gets a good source of protein to them. Good bee pollen. I use it quite a lot. But I just use endless me significance though, going back to that. Black neons. I've been looking at black neons today, Aiden, to be honest. They're beautiful, aren't they? Alexander, I was hospitalized for months and didn't clean my son's. Do you have UV sterilization? I don't have UV sterilization, mate. I'm sorry that you was hospitalized for a while as well there, buddy. I hope you're okay now. How did you go on with your tank, mate? You're not being able to... Did someone take care of it for you, or... I have no UV sterilization in any of my tanks. Don't know, because mine are crystal clear. But I use filter floss. The last thing the water goes through before it goes back into the tank from my canister is a big clump of filter floss, and it polishes the water, and it just takes all those little bits out. And I'll be honest, it works because I kind of clean my canister filter once a month, and actually 3 weeks ago the stream dictated, as it saw, the tank actually dictated it, because I did a water change, and as I was doing the water change the filter stopped. So, but you take, when you just see how much dirt the filter floss collects, and that's why it polishes your water. It just helps take so much out. Oh, I bet that's beautiful, that, Aiden, isn't it? 55 gallon for your angels with super red long fin tetras. 3 filters. Oh, I bet that looks beautiful, doesn't it? That's why you should use Latin names with commons. You get lost. You do. I know, Jax. So a few weeks ago, I had a plan of putting a video together for the best suitable plants for a rainbow fish aquarium, and I branched. I'd kind of broke it up into 3 different bits, and it was like, so the best plants if you want to do a nature aquarium for like Australian rainbow fish. So all the plants you could only source in Australia. And then I did one for like for the rainbows that you could only find in like Papua New Guinea, and all the plants you could get. And then it was just like one all round. If you've got a mixed rainbow tank, which plants would be best? And I'd gone through everything, and I got a list of all these plants, and I can't pronounce any of them. So as I'm writing them all down, it's like, write them down perfectly. We'll proper Google them in a bit, find out what the common name is, and then you'll use the common name when you're doing the video, and we'll put the scientific name up on screen anyway, like I do. And I have done that in the CO2 tank build, which is actually out in 10 minutes. And but there's no common names for a lot of them. And I just thought, I wasted like days doing the research on this. And I just thought, I can't, with being a small YouTuber, I think it'd be different if I was a big YouTuber. I'd probably get away with it by explaining. But as a small YouTuber, if you came onto my channel, you'd never seen me before. So it's like, this guy might be rubbish. He might be interested. And I come on and go, right, guys, I'm going to do a video about the most suitable plants suitable for rainbow fish. The only problem is I can't bloody pronounce any of them. So I'm just going to show you a picture and I'll put the screen up. It just wouldn't have made a video that I want to like hit that YouTube algorithm and go, the one that you need to get launched. You know, it wouldn't never be that. I'm kind of hoping the CO2 tank build is. But I'm not holding my breath. So you went 6 months without a cleaning. That's good. So really, the plants really controlled your tank then there, didn't they? This is the beauty of the plants, I suppose, though, Alex, isn't it? It's when things happen, the plants do the part, don't they? They do the part. Oh, Jax, that's terrible. That's, oh, I feel Is the sound on now, guys? I know I'm behind on chat. I'm behind on chat. Is it back on? Yeah. Sorry, guys. I fell right behind on chat, and I think I am kind of. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I waffle on a bit too much, don't I? Gonna try and catch up. So we're all good, right? It sounds back on. I'm a knobhead. I don't know how long's it been off for. 5 minutes. Wow, no way. Because I you know what? I clicked bloody mute. Sorry, guys. I need to catch up on. I need to watch the chat a little bit more. Though I am new to this, and I kind of waffle on a little bit. So I'm just gonna go back and make sure I've not missed anything now. Thanks for the Alexander. Thanks for the knowledge and experience. I don't have audio, but you've got another subscriber. Thanks, Alexander. Hopefully now the sound's back on. I don't know how. I've obviously fat fingers and I clicked the mute button. Do apologise for that, guys. Thanks, Shari. Yeah, I do kind of waffle on, don't I? But one of them, innit? It's one of them. I've always been a bit of a talker. Shari, did you end up trying that complete koi near me in Breaknet? I know. I think we talked about it, and you said you might go over. Just wondering if you did. I've been in there today. It's just got a load of new stock. Cheers, Alexander. At least I'm back now. It's a learning curve of the live thing. I'm an old man, so yeah, I haven't noticed. Right. Yeah, no worries, Shari. I need to go in there again. I went in there a while back. It's quite a decent shop, that, isn't it? I'm surprised, Shari, that Brownberry Rochdale there isn't like a Maidenhead Aquatics, which would be nice if there was. Looking at a bigger tank, Shari, yeah. Oh, mate. Thanks, Aidan. I know I do just waffle on, don't I? Do sometimes think, well, I need to talk. Obviously, I'm here doing a talk thing, aren't I? So I've got a list of things to talk about and everything, so you don't like dry up. Because it's weird. You start thinking, oh right, I need to talk about something, and you kind of panic. Oh, I need to talk, and it's nice having a list of things that you can just go, let's talk about that for a bit. So 3:15, let's talk about this for a bit. 3:15. My latest video was just launched on my channel, guys. It's the CO2 aquarium tank build. Tell you what I will do, so you know why I'm going on about it. I'll just show you we'll have a bit of a walk over to the CO2 tank, so you know what I'm going on about. So I have launched the build video today. I'm going to turn you around. So launched the build video for this today. The plants at the back probably could have grown in a little bit more. I thought I was kind of having a problem with the Amania. That's the gold plant. But it turns out that sometimes they might just do what they're doing. So I'm not half as worried about that now. So there's Plustrious Red that's growing in. It's all carpeted along the front with the dwarf hairgrass. Rhinochi Mini that's growing in. I did replace some of that because the Anubius had kind of outgrown it. But yeah, the build video for this tank is out now, guys. So go and check it out. Not yet though, just later. Check it out after the stream. I did put a video on YouTube this morning. I don't know if anyone ever watches my shorts, because I kind of laid off doing the shorts a little bit recently. But I did put a short on, so it's just kind of rescape a little bit, because in the corner here is my crebentia. There's a breeding pair of Crebensis, and yesterday they kind of let the babies out for the first time. So it's always nice when you see these, when you see the fry and they've not really got the strength yet to get themselves off the gravel. And that's the stage where they're at. So again, last night I fed bee pollen that's just been like dissolved in water, and then pour it in there. All those little molecules get down there to the babies, and it gives them a good start. Cheers, Aidan. Yeah, mate, I'm kind of I do like it. It's the hard, and I take my hat off to MD because he makes his build videos just like amazing, but he makes it a lot easier. He makes it look a lot easier than what it is. So yeah, I'm kind of hope you like it. Kunyan, hi buddy, hope you're well today. In time, Aidan. But yeah, your multi-tank syndrome is definitely a thing, buddy. So I'm thinking of building like a rack where you might be able to get like 4 tanks on there. And that just doubles the tanks I've got in one hit. Oh, I need to stop thinking about that. Cheers, Shari. I mean, it does. I do love it. I do love it. I spend a lot of time just like, that gets my attention in the evenings. You know, I'll be looking and think, oh, that grass could do with a trim. So I'm on there trimming the grass. And the one thing I just need to keep knocking back the Anubias, because as the Anubias grows, it overshadows the Alternanthera rhinicae, the red one at the front, and it blocks the light off it. And so like it's on its second batch because I just let it overgrow. But I wanted the Anubias to kind of grow really thick, because there's like you'll see it on the build video. There's like plastic tubing. So I got some plastic tubing, cut it to size, 3 pieces of it, glued it all together. So it's built a wall. So there's gravel at the front, and then there's bags of soil at the back. And then like obviously capped with gravel then. But it's just built a wall. So I kind of needed the Anubias to grow in thick so you couldn't see the black tubing behind. Now it's done that, I can kind of trim it back a little bit and then let the Alternanthera grow in. It sounds like I know what I'm doing, but I don't know. How do you go about cleaning the grass? So sure, you do right. So I haven't cleaned it yet, mate. I don't really gravel vac my aquariums. I let the plants kind of do all that. I've never gravel vac this, never. And I kind of just like the plant roots do that for you. And now you do see people gravel vacuum the dwarf airgrass, don't you? So it's something I'll have to look into to see if you actually have to do it, or keep an eye on it to see if there's like, if it starts building up with little bits of like detritus in there and that bits of crap, then I'll give it a vac out. But yeah, it'll just, if I do, it'll be with a little gravel vac. But I'll be wary at doing it because there's shrimp in there now. And one thing, all those little baby shrimp that I was going on about before might be in that grass. So hopefully let the shrimp take care of it, mate. Cheers, Swit. Thanks for joining us today, Swit. Welcome to the channel. Rock salt and methylene blue works with better fish fin rock. Yeah, just be careful, buddy. Just be careful. It's something I've never used, methylene blue. It's something I've always kind of been led to believe that it's hard. Well, it's hard to get hold of in the UK, from what I've been led to believe. Something I never used, but yeah, I'd try a proper fin rot medication, buddy, to be perfectly honest. Aidan, so far you have 5 tanks. It's crazy, isn't it? 255s, 229s, 139, and a 10. It's addictive, isn't it? So addictive, mate. I know. I've got to admit, today went into the aquarium near me, had a look at all his fish, went in there to buy some air stones and a couple of little corner connectors, or the, you know, the 2-1 airline connector thing. Just to go in there, obviously go in there, have a look at the fish, talk myself out of not buying any. Then I'm having a look at the plants, and I don't need any, but you look anyway. And then you kind of having a look round, aren't you? And you're like, oh, I'll have a look. Just have a look at the tanks as well while I'm here. And it's just a nightmare because, like, I'll be honest, like in this place where it's only a couple of miles down the road from where I live. So I go in there and they've got a tank at the moment. You will have seen them. They're a better tank, or like they are supposed to be for betters. So it's like a 2-foot aquarium that's then split into like 3 or 4 tanks. So you can use one filtration system, but you can have 4 male betters in the same tank because they're segregated. And yeah, look at that and think, you know, mate, like you could kind of scape it so you had 4 different scapes, or you could scape it and have it looking like it's one scape where you could kind of have the wood leaning on the glass like that, if you will. So it looks like one scape, but it's 4 scapes. And I see it and think, right, so if you did that, if you built a little unit that had holds 4 aquariums, and you put this 2-foot tank on it that's 4 aquariums, technically you've got 16 new aquariums. And I'm like, stop thinking like that. Stop thinking like that. I've never had freshwater puffers, Alexander. I believe they're like a species only tank, really, aren't they? I don't think much can live with them. Quite aggressive, aren't they? I do like them though, mate. I do. You see these little pea puffers and that, and they're gorgeous, aren't they? That's like something maybe, you know, in the future. Not sure, but yeah, I do like them. It's just something I've never had. Do apologise, guys. Alex and Aidan there. Good question, Alex. I'm curious about this as well. I've never had them. I think they are, Alex. I think they are a species only kind of thing. Quite aggressive, aren't they? And I've never really looked into them. Pea puffers. I don't know if pea puffers just stay that size, and that's why they're called pea puffers, or do they actually just like outgrow everything that you put them in, and you end up having to have a massive tank because you end up with a puffer fish like aquarium co-ops with his 2 front teeth and everything. I don't know if that's, I'm not sure if that's like, the pea puffers grow massive. I don't know. Or is that why they're called pea puffers? Because they're small pea size? I don't know. Something I never looked into. Something that, to be perfectly honest, is something that I don't really see around here very often. I'm in Manchester in the UK, and I don't really see them that often. You see them on the internet more than you see them in the stores. Or I do anyway. I've never mentioned the super red fin long pleco, mate, but I do have I take it they're kind of like similar. I have a red fin thresher pleco in my rainbow tank. He's pretty gorgeous. He's probably around about 8-inch long now, but he's quite streamlined. He was out earlier, and he's kind of not now. But he's not like a normal pleco. He's out all the time. Although some plecos don't really. But like, I got quite a few photographs last night of my starlight plecos in the back of here, because they're out all the time. They're not scared. But my green phantom pleco never comes out, and there's supposed to be gold nugget plecos in there as well. But I haven't seen them since December, so I wouldn't like to say. Yeah, I take it they are very similar, mate. I love plecos. I do. Kind of got lucky, really. So when I bought my starlights, when I bought them, they were about 2-inch. So you couldn't tell the sex. There was no way in the world you were sexing them. So I'd gone to the shop where I bought them on the Tuesday, saw them, and I was like, look at these, £75 each, which is probably about $85 each, something like that. And I thought, I'd love a pair of them. But not time spending that money. And I came home and kind of my brain just started going, you should have bought them fish, you should have bought them fish. Like, as we all know, like it does. Anyway, kind of looked into him, make sure that all my tank was set up right for him. Looked into sexing them, and it is the bristles is the main thing of sexing them, but they're only small, so it's hard to sex a fish that's only small, and the bristles haven't formed. So I thought, right, go into the shop. Normally see this one guy who knows his stuff, and he wasn't in, so another guy came to see him and was like, right, mate, I want a male and female of them. He was like, I don't know how to sex them. So I was like, if you know how to sex them, then you point out what you want, and I'll get them, yeah. So I kind of looked, I went, right, mate, I think that is female, because there was like literally no visible bristles at all. And then there was another one, and it had like proper only stubble. There was nothing like you go, there's bristles. It kind of had the slightest indication that there might be some bristles growing on it. I'll take that. And it, lo and behold, turned out to be male and female. And they have bred. I just never got any young from them. But hopefully in time they breed. It's great, Jax, isn't it? That's the beauty, isn't it? With stem plants, just cut back and replant. I'm doing the same now with my Palustrius Super Red, just trimming it and replanting it. I'm kind of hoping it reddens up more. I may just need to whack the lights up a little bit more. I don't know. So, Jax, just out of interest, so that Amania gold that I was on about before, is that a highlight plant, is it? So if I can whip the light up to get the Palustrius red at either side of it to get that more red, it won't damage the Amania Palatoletta gold, will it? First time I've remembered it, and I probably remembered it wrong. My favourites is the Senegal Bicker. Big fest. Oh, really? Is that right, Alexander? Yes, a Senegal Bicker. I'll have to Google them, mate. We'll have to Google them. Do I use a rooting hormone? No, I don't. So my daily plant routine is fertilize daily, because that is what it says to do on the bottle. Today on Facebook, so on Facebook you can kind of promote your channel on Fridays. So I went onto a few of the bigger groups regarding like fish keeping, the ones that have got like 300,000 viewers, followers. So I went onto them and I was kind of like promoting a video regarding water changes, because the thumbnail, it's hard to do controversial thumbnails on aquarium stuff when you're just teaching people to get, because that's what gets you noticed. But there's certain topics like euthanasia and water changes where you can kind of make the thumbnail a little bit controversial to get people to watch it. And this guy was like, oh, I was watching this video until he decided to tell us that he fertilizes daily. And I was like, all right, but my fertilizer says fertilize daily. And plants don't suffer for it, and my fish don't suffer for it. So it's crazy how people have different opinions. I'd like to say moderate light, but a high CO2 injection and ground fertilizer capsules. Okay, Jax. Yeah, so I did root tab the back a couple of days ago. So I may just keep them where they are now and see how the Palustrius goes. And because is Palustrius a highlight plant to get it really bright red, is it? See, this is where I'm learning. You know, it's like I've bought plants for the back row of that, and one's more low light and some probably highlight. But you kind of learn by your mistakes, don't you? Samafire, thanks for joining us today, buddy. Hope you are well. Sorry you're late. Not a problem. Not a problem. You're here. I hope you enjoy. It's been quite an experience today. I was waffling on for ages and no one could hear me. So yeah, I'm good. can tell it's live, can't you? Tell it's live. Ah, yeah, it could be a bashir, couldn't it? Actually, yeah, thinking about it. Yeah, them bashirs, I know they go quite big, don't they? I know a lady that's got a couple in a rainbow tank. So just while it's in my mind, guys, if there's anybody in that's currently in that's from America, hopefully you've all been safe and all your family are safe and all that. There is a guy that I'm going to do a live stream with hopefully next week, and he lives in Florida, I think, or California. But I did get in touch with him over the past couple of days to make sure he's okay, and luckily he is okay. He wasn't actually in the area. He'd gone to see his kids. So if there is anybody that's in the States and that's been affected by that, we are all thinking of you, and it's pretty terrible. You're in Texas, are you, Aidan? Yeah, mate. Have you been affected by it? So I'm safe. I think thanks to the insurance. Crazy though. Madness, mate. From what we've seen, God, not Manchester weather was bad, but yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like there's footage of roofs just getting totally ripped off, like big buildings. Scary. So yeah, my thoughts are with you. I'd say prayers, but I'm not religious. So yeah, my thoughts are with you, all you guys at the moment. Hopefully you keep safe. Hopefully your family's safe anyway, Aidan. That's the main thing, innit? Oh, Guz, thank you. Coming in today from Albania. We are getting worldwide following, guys. I'm allowed to say it because the first stream we did came guy in Australia. So we went worldwide on the first ever live stream. So that's all good. But we are getting people from all over the world. Like I say, with America, like different parts of America. We've had Minnesota, Michigan, Florida, California, Texas, all over Australia. We've got Ogles in today from Albania. We've got Czech people in today. It's like all over. Honestly, this is just like growing. We're getting a great community all over the world. It's brilliant. And it's good to see how different people in different countries, how like treating the fishes can be different. You know, say a few weeks ago, we did a live stream, and there was a guy from Florida, and he has his Neocaridina shrimp thriving in water that's like GH was 180. And yet my same Neocaridina shrimp are thriving with a GH of about 5. So yeah, it's crazy how you see how things can be totally different for the same kind of creature. Right. So, right, Jax, thanks for that. So, am I right? So I use what? Right, Jax, what fertilizer do you use? Because I'm using APT3, which I take it is an all-round. So am I? So can I buy like just like iron, like an iron supplement for it? Is it? Because I don't know whether to like increase my dosage of APT3 or what. It's a learning curve. I don't know. Houses floating down the street in Florida and North Carolina. I know, Aidan. It's crazy, isn't it? Proper heartbreaking, and like you see still like see the idiots, don't you? So yesterday on the TV it showed a guy, and he was like decided that he was going to do a live stream from outside his house in Florida, and he nearly got blown away. And he's like, people are telling us to leave, and I'm doing this. And he's like, mate, something could just kill you, and then there goes your live stream straight away. It doesn't matter. You could have 1 million people watching on your live stream, and half of that million people could do like a super chat like we got earlier and donate money. But what good is it if you're dead? So it's like, what? And then just before I came on stream, there's a guy being found in the ocean in a freezer, or as the Americans call them, an ice box. And he's been saved, and it's like he got blown away, and he's in a freezer sailing, and he's come across 25-foot waves sat in a freezer. It's like, wow. It was not his time to go, but I would definitely put the lottery on for sure. Do I have a pregnant tetra? If I do, it wasn't me. I will say. Do you mean this little buddy here? Do you mean? Possibility, mate. Possibly is just fat. It's been munching away. Alexandra Stoner, Pennsylvania. So what's it like there? In Pennsylvania, I don't know the layout of where everywhere is in America, guys. It's like we was told. I saw the other day on the TV that this bad weather was going to affect the East Coast and the West Coast, but I don't know if it actually did. I'm not quite sure. Armin Goalane, thank you. Gallo Yan, thanks for the. Thank you very much. Saying hello there. I hope I've pronounced your name right. Hope you're well. I'm using Masterline Macro from Czech Republic Chemist. So, right, Jax, okay. For the iron supplement, one of the more common sea chem iron. I will order some of that, mate. I will order some of that and see what I need to look into this, don't I? I will order some sea chem iron though and try and dose that. Definitely. Thanks, Jax. It's great when you come across people that do the CO2 thing, because it's not like a massive thing, is it? I did actually poll it on YouTube the other day, and it's like works out about 20% of the people that have gone on the poll run CO2 in their aquarium, so it's hard getting that niche. That's brilliant, Stoner. Keep safe, buddy, and your family. Hope your family are safe as well, mate. Oh, the old school, and I mean ancient aquarium technique. Clean a nail and rubbing alcohol and clean with water and stick it under the plants that need it. Does that work, Jax? Does it? I've never heard that. I've never heard that before. I'm scared of CO2. No chemist. I'm the same, mate, and it kind of scares me a little bit. I did kill 2 fish last week with my CO2. Sadly, did try it, but yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them. You just gotta kind of get used to it, get your head around it. But yeah, it is the fertilizer side now is something I need to concentrate more on. It's knowing what everything needs. So I have recently gotten a plant encyclopedia, an aquatic plant encyclopedia, but it doesn't really tell you what kind of deficiencies look like in plants. So that's something I'm going to have to really look into, what plant deficiencies look like. Yeah, so I might try that. I might try that. I mean, I will. Oh, you've got me now, because I'm a bit of a cheapskate. But no, I'll get a sea chem. I will get some sea chem iron. Is there any other kind of thing I need to be looking at, Jax, apart from iron? Is there any other like additional fertilizers I need to look at as well as the APT3? Better watch that, Stammy. You don't want your dog looking like he's going to attack you, mate, do you? I hope it's not an American bull, mate. Otherwise, get out. phosphorus, right? So if I order iron and phosphorus, so what does phosphorus give you, Jax? If I'm stopping your maintenance, mate, I'm sorry. White phosphorus. Right, bear with us. I need to write things down. I have a 51-year-old brain. It'll forget. So, what do we need? What do we need? Sorry, guys, I'm looking after myself for a minute. So we're on C-chem iron. C-chem iron and white phosphorus. My dad was a really keen gardener, and he would have known all about this, you know. Definitely. So yeah, I'll look into that. Not the white one. That was a joke. White phosphorus. Geneva violation. Oh, is it? Sorry. There you go. Bloody hell. Right, so just phosphorus. Is it? I didn't know that. Keep CO2 in there, efficient, liquid. CO2 goes a long way. My CO2 didn't really go a long way. So my CO2 tank, I did a little bit of work on my CO2 tank on Saturday on stream, and I ended up dropping a light around the back, and it disconnected the CO2. So I just connected it back, put it all back together, carried on with the live stream. Later on in the evening, I looked and there was no CO2 coming out. So I was like, oh, I must have disconnected it 2 places. So I'll go through everything, nothing. It's like, what's going on here? What's going on? Anyway, it turns out my canister had emptied, but really by Sunday dinner, my CO2 drop checker was blue. It had gone back to blue. So yeah, it didn't last long. Just phosphorus. Yeah, mate, I got that. Cheers, Jax. I will look into that, and I'll get some ordered. Because I want my plants to thrive. I want to be able to like get to where you are now, mate, with the CO2 injection, where I kind of look at a plant and go, right, that's what's wrong with that, you know. But it is a learning curve, isn't it? Coolie Loach fish, Bangladesh price 200. I don't know if that's a lot, to be perfectly honest. Hope you're not trying to sell them though, mate. You're from Bangladesh. Welcome, buddy. Welcome from Bangladesh. Ah, right, really? So, right, Jack said, this is mad, isn't it? So it's actually, yeah, it sinks in the water. Right. So when you dose it like into the stream that comes, a stream of water that comes from your filter, or are you best off like dosing it around the tank anyway, Jax? Or does it kind of like just disperse in the water and settle? Are you better off target fertilizing that stuff? Sammy Fire, back in 20 minutes. Not a problem, buddy. Clock's running. I'm timing you, mate. What are you back here in 20 minutes? Only joking, mate. You take your care of what you're doing. No injuries. Do you use one with a timer and solenoid cut off? Very cool. I do, Alex, mate. Yeah, I have a timer in the wall for my CO2 to come on. So my CO2 kind of comes on about an hour and 20 minutes at the moment. An hour and 20 minutes comes on before the lights come on, and it goes off about an hour before the lights go off. I kind of feel that's right. I kind of had it an hour before the lights came on, but I just upped it a little bit just because I'd swapped over the canister. I may be able to swap that back now. Just at the canister, I've had to up the amount of the bubbles that go in there just to get the water right. So we'll have to see. I know what I'm on about. If no one else does. Just like to say thanks to everyone that's in the chat at the moment, guys. If you can show a bit of love in the chat, that'd be awesome. If you aren't a subscriber to the channel, could you subscribe to the channel? Dink on that like button. Spread the love. Notifications will tell you every time I go live. I'll tell you when I release a video. Kind of release videos on a Friday afternoon at 3:15, and I do 4 live stream fish club meets per week. For the past 2 weeks, they have been Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 2 o'clock. Or 3 of them have. Those 3 will move now to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it'll be 8 p.m. British summertime. That's because I go back to work next week, so that's going to change. And then we also do a live fish club meet on a Saturday afternoon, which is again 2 p.m. That will stay the same. So hopefully you enjoy the channel. The fish club meetings are a growing thing. We've got people from all over the world pop in and say hello. We've got a guy at the moment from Bangladesh. We had Wednesday, we had a really nice guy in from America, and he was he breeds. No, he wasn't from America. I think he was from Australia. Actually, I think he was from Australia. Or I can't rightly remember. But anyway, the guy breeds seahorses. So he came in and he kind of gave us a bit of an insight on breeding seahorses. And so when you're running a stream, it's nice when people like that come in, because I know nothing about seahorses. I would like to go down the marine game at some point, I would. And seahorses are something I'd like to look into, you know. So to get this guy in who breeds them, it was really good. And he stayed in for, I think, pretty much for like about a good 2 hours of the stream, and he was talking about all kinds. So it was really, really good. So that's the kind of like things that's happening in this fish club meeting, guys. You know, we're getting people that they might not pop in every one, and I wouldn't expect everyone to pop in on every one because everyone's got commitments, haven't they? But when you've got people that do pop in and talk about things like that, and it was just fascinating. A couple of streams back, we had a guy talking about cultivating white worms for your fish. So he just grows his own white worms, and it was just like told us all how to do that, and he does his own Daphnia, and I'm going to look into doing Daphnia because I do brine shrimp now, but it'd be nice to be able to do Daphnia as well if it's not like a major pain, but it's good. Is that right, Alexander? Yeah, freeze your. It's pretty hard for me to freeze the tank. I use a bloody full size. I use a full size fire extinguisher. But if you freeze it, you get more. No way. Didn't know that. Keeping octopuses is your dream, is it, Alexander? See, again, aren't they a magnificent creature? A magnificent creature. Plug, Jay, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you in here today. Yeah, mate, it's been going pretty well, to be perfectly honest, bud. It's been going well. So nice to see you in, buddy. Hope you're well. Hope the little one's good as well. Yeah, mate, Jax, I may get in touch. I don't know how they travel though. I don't know how they travel, mate. But you definitely got the plant growing off to a T, haven't you? I'm kind of like good with easy plants, obviously. But yeah, I will definitely be pecking your head a little bit more. Octopuses, mate. It would be awesome, wouldn't it? It would be awesome keeping octopuses. Cheers, Jack. Cheers, Jay. I am, mate. Yeah, I'm doing good. Unfortunately, this is like my last day off work today, and then obviously I'll be days off Saturday, Sunday, and then I'm back in work Monday, which is a bit poor. Got to admit, them 2 weeks came round and went fast. So, but yeah, we're doing good. I've kind of introduced more air into the shrimp tank today, Jay. I've tried to deal with that dead zone problem. So that's kind of what I've been doing today. That's what I did this morning. But yeah, all's good. All's good. So like the sage and all that I planted in last week on the stream last Friday, all that's doing really well. Yeah, the rhinochi that I put into the CO2 tank, that's like doing really good as well. But the sage is growing in well. The cories have dug it up a few times or bits of it, so we've got that replanted. But yeah, mate, everything's doing good. Everything's doing good. John, pet lover, your name is John from the Philippines. John, everybody in the chat, show John a bit of love there. Hope you are good. Weather's beautiful here today, Jay. I don't know if you managed to get to see it, but round in Manchester last night, we saw the Northern Lights last night, which was something I've never seen. You know, in 51 years, I'm 51 years old, I've never seen Northern Lights, but people are like, oh, did you see the Northern Lights last night? No, I didn't see it. Everyone's like, oh, Billy Big Nuts, you know, well, I saw it. And then last night I saw on Facebook a few people like from around here were like, oh, you can see the Northern Lights. So I went out, I saw the Northern Lights. I've got a picture of the Northern Lights that I have put on my Facebook page. So I was kind of buzzing of seeing the Northern Lights, but then when you look on Facebook, everybody saw Northern Lights last night. So it's not really anything you can brag about when everyone sees it. But one thing I will say is the photograph I took of the Northern Lights is there. And what else is on the picture? The second moon. So if anyone doesn't, I know it's not like fish chat at the moment, but if anybody knows what the second moon is, what it is a big comet that's entered our solar system, and it'll stay around for about a month, and then it'll whip off and it'll come back in 2055. So to see the Northern Lights in Manchester with the second moon, which is it looks like it's like the North Star, if you will, but probably about 6 times bigger. So yeah, it's quite an experience. It was quite nice to go out there and see two kind of natural phenomena happening at the same time. Kind of felt a bit lucky. I saw the Northern Lights last month in London. It's magical. It's beautiful, isn't it, Jay? They were red last night. Just like a little bit of green. I got some great photos of it, to be perfectly honest. Kind of awe-inspiring. It's beautiful. It's such a natural phenomenon. It's great. Oh, sorry, mate. You'd have seen him as well. It was actually I have a mate that lives in Heywood, and he took pictures of it. So I nipped out and looked. I couldn't see him at that point. And then later on, someone else put on Facebook and it was like literally round the corner. I went out and was like, wow, no way. And that's it. They're ringing everybody. If you've seen the Northern Lights, get out, get out, get out. Like I say, bragging rights kind of died off a little bit because everybody saw them, apart from you, Shorty. But yeah, kind of like, it's like everyone's like, oh yeah, I saw them as well. But they are, it's phenomenal. Hi, Daniel. Cheers for joining us today, buddy. Hope you're well. Yeah, Alexandra, it's interesting, isn't it? I know the chat's kind of like gone a little bit off fish at the moment, but it's just natural phenomenon, isn't it? Black holes, what's a black hole at the end of the day? Where does it go? It's mad, isn't it? It's just mad. And when you think that the amount of planets that are the same demographic of ours kind of makes you realize that we can no way in this world be alone. Don't care what anyone says. No way. There's millions of planets out there. Millions of planets. It's got to be life. It's got to be life out there. It's just whether it visits us. Just seeing your Facebook pic looks great. So it's awesome, mate, isn't it? It's awesome. Because I'm only in Bury, as you know. I'm like the next town along from you, buddy. So yeah, it's stunning. If you look at the apex of the house, there's like a bright star, and that's the second moon, the comet that's whipping around at the moment. It's great, great. It's like it. Where I used to work, people come up to me and go, "Russ, what's that there?" Because they have like the star tracker on my phone, so you can just hold it up and it'll tell you what star it is. And like, what's that there? It's the International Space Station, because I've got that app as well. It's fascinating, isn't it? I love it. Kind of love it. It's something else. But does anyone think the moon landing happened though? Does anyone actually believe the moon landing happened? And me saying, does anyone believe the moon landing happened, isn't me saying I didn't believe the moon landing happened. I am just intrigued. I think it did, but it wouldn't. I think with me, I'm kind of like, I think it happened, but it wouldn't surprise me if it had been a blag. Don't know. It's crazy, Stoner, isn't it? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like the James Webb Telescope is just like what that's brought, or you know, the information that's brought back is like incredible. Yeah, Jax, you're right there. It's crazy. There has to be other stuff, doesn't there? There has to be other stuff. Will we ever find out in our lifetime, though? It's like these, what they call Tic Tacs that they see flying around, what pilots, fighter pilots, they're saying about them all the time. What are they? Vehicles that can travel faster than the speed of light, go underwater and come back out and not lose any speed. It's like, it's not anything from this world, is it? And when you think, really, so the amount of, so like with rainbow fish, there's like 40 different species of rainbow fish, and we can honestly say we don't know how many species of just fish there are alone. It's got millions of different species of fish. There's probably things in our oceans that we've never even known exist. There'll be all kinds of creatures in our planet. There's millions of creatures in our planet that we know about, and there'll be millions that don't. So I think that wide variety of life on one planet, it'd be hard to believe that there'd be no life on any other. I just think it's crazy. It's crazy. Hopefully it doesn't get like Terminator though. Or anything like, or Alien. So when I come off stream, Jax, I'm gonna be getting some extra fertilizers in. Give it a go. I know, I have on my normal planted tanks. I used to use the normal fertilizer in that, and I've upped that to the CO2 fertilizer because it had more potassium in it. And I know my Anubias do way better, because my Anubias leaves were going yellow, and I was like, I'd looked into it and I believe that was a potassium. And yeah, they seem to do better on that. I'd love to do that, you know, Jay. I would. I'd love to have a job where you're going doing things like that. It's like the Mariana Trench, isn't it? It's like I did read the books of the Meg, and you kind of look, and some of the research into that. So they found a Meg tooth in the 70s. They found a Meg tooth in the 70s, a species, a large species of shark that they believed to be extinct for 10 million years. And they put a submarine down the Mariana Trench 7 miles down into the ocean, and it picks up a megalodon tooth. A species that has been believed to have been dead for 10 million years. And when they bring it back up in, I think it's in the 70s, when they bring it back up and carbon date it, it's 10,000 years old. So what does that say? 10,000 years old is a bit of a difference from believing it's been dead for 10 million years, and then to find tooth that's 10,000 years old. So now the belief is that maybe there are megalodon sharks in the Mariana Trench, and they're kept down there by the cold water. That's kind of the belief. And I know, like, I have researched it. I know it's in like it goes into it a bit in the book, but yeah, I have researched it, and there is a possibility that megalodon sharks were sent deep down in the water by killer whales, and they've gone out the way, and because of the warm water geysers that at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the water's quite warm down there, but it goes, so it's warm water in the Mariana Trench, and then it goes really cold water, and then as it gets to the surface of the planet, it warms up. So they reckon that cold water could be keeping all kinds of life trapped in the Mariana Trench. But to be able to go down there would be awesome. Interesting read, another great book titled Sharks Don't Get Cancer. Oh, right. That's it. It's a bit of a mad one, isn't it? Because I like to look at some of the conspiracy theories, and some people think that cancer's a parasite. And they won't tell us it's a parasite because they make too much money out of it. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Don't know. What like to say? Get a conspiracy theory chat going. Oh my God, imagine if we did a conspiracy theories chat, the amount of things that you'd pull in off of random people from all over the world. It'd probably be worth doing. That'd be pretty funny. Nice, Jax. Nice. So, oh, mate, how many eggs have you managed to salvage there, Jax? Are you going to keep them separate, are you? That's probably why the Chinese love shark. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise, would it? They're a bit cruel with that, though, aren't they? Just cutting the fins off and throwing them back in the water. Got it. Hurts my soul. Jeez, be right back. I have to take down a parrot cage. Yeah, you take that parrot cage down. 5 nice, Jacks, nice. So you've got a parrot as well, have you? Nice, nice. I do like parrots. They're crazy, aren't they? And getting them to swear. When you come back, Jack, so I'll ask you if your parrot swears. It's quite funny when you get animals swearing in it. We've seen recently, there's one in the UK. There's I think there's quite a few parrots that live in the UK now that have kind of got out of windows and obviously never been salvaged. But there was a parrot near a police station, and it was mimicking the police siren. And all the police kept coming out thinking that someone had left a siren on. It wasn't. It was a bird mimicking the siren. Quite funny. Just for a soup. Nice. Is CO2 boost or fertilizer a good alternative for CO2 injection? Alison Becker, thanks for joining us today, mate. Definitely not. No. So your liquid CO2 is not CO2 at the end of the day. It is an algicide. And dosing liquid CO2, so how it kind of works is how I've always judged it is, so it's an algicide. So what it does, it stops the algae growing, obviously. So algae that would take the CO2 out of the water isn't growing, so it's not taking the CO2 out of the water. So it leaves more CO2 in the aquarium for your plants. So that's kind of the impression that's how I've always been led to believe that's how it works. But I don't think there's any replacement for CO2, mate. We've been kind of talking about it in depth today. So if you are new to the stream, it might be worth just checking back later on. Because I'm running a CO2 tank, and I've launched a video today of the build of the CO2 tank. But it's a trial and error learning process for me. So today I've been talking to Jax, who runs CO2 tanks. So it's been nice kind of learning. So yeah, it's it's worth, if you're new to the stream, mate, look back on the stream later on and you'll see us talking about the CO2 and different types of fertilizers as well, which I've got a list of fertilizers that I'm going to have to buy when I come off stream today. So yeah, again, Amazon will probably be making more money out of me today, but I want to get it right. So, you know, this is the thing, isn't it, Alison? We want to get it right, and we've kind of the hobby grows all the time, doesn't it? And you want to do more into it, and so yeah, it's been a good stream today. If you are interested in the CO2, it's worth looking back onto. I'm trying to get into the thing of reading out people's questions so it gets a bit of replay value later on. I must say, I did mute the microphone for 5 minutes, so I did waffle on for 5 minutes and no one knew what I was going on about. So I do apologise to everyone for that. But yeah, it's worth looking back, Alison. There's been some good chat today regarding CO2 and fertilizers and that. So is it something you're looking into doing? Is it, Alison? Are you looking at maybe doing a CO2 tank in the future, maybe? It's initially an expensive setup, but once it's set up, it's not that expensive, is what I've kind of found, unless like the fertilizers that I'm going to have to buy today are a bit more expensive, but we want it right, don't we? They would, Alexander, they would. It'd be quite funny though. Should do it. I should set up another channel and just go live and just do a conspiracy theory chat and see what people come up with. It's just, I think it'd be an eye opener. It would be an eye opener. Oh, Sammy Fire's back, guys. Show some love. Good to see you back, buddy. And Jax is back too. Jax is back. Show some love, guys. So yeah, we've just been saying, Jax, someone's just been on about CO2. So I just said to kind of go back on the live stream a little bit later on and watch them back, because we've had a good chat about fertilizing CO2 today. So it's going to be intriguing now, mate, when I get these new fertilizers and that, and obviously test kits that come along with it. I think I may have a phosphorus test kit actually. So that's quite. I think I've got a phosphorus test kit. I tested for it. That's why I kind of knew my Nubius needed it. So we'll be running phosphorus tests later for sure. Just out of interest, Jax, what is your phosphorus supposed to be at? Is it supposed to be around about 2? I'm not quite sure. Okay, I'm back. So basically, I've cycled 40 litre. Basically, I just picked off the eggs and put them in there so they can hatch separately if I don't get damaged to the eggs. So just add more every day. That's awesome, Jax, isn't it? That's really cool. It's good when you can do that. I'd love just a tank running where I can put things into it, but I kind of, and if I have a tank running, I end up putting something in it. Kind of what I've done with all of them. It's like when people have quarantine tanks running. How many people truthfully have a quarantine tank running? Because you could set up a quarantine tank, but I'd be sticking fish in it. As simple as. It's kind of what I'd do. I feel exactly the same, Alexander. It's a question I ask a lot. It's a question I poll a lot on YouTube. It's a question I poll a lot on Facebook. And I've asked on the live streams and no one really gets into it. What is the thing with GH and KH? KH does regulate your pH. I know that does. It does do that. But some people frown upon you adding buffers and some people add buffers. I add buffer. You'll see it on my live stream on a Saturday afternoon. I add buffer. I test my source water regularly, straight from the tap. 0 GH, 0 KH. So I do add a little bit of buffer. And I probably keep it between 3 and 5 on kind of both, really. But people say you shouldn't be adding it because they're bred in captivity. They're used to that water. Is that the truth? I don't know. Someone actually said it to me today. So I put on Facebook today a link to my water change video. So rainbow fish do prefer large water changes because in the wild, they're living in the lakes and the streams, so they're getting that constant fresh water all the time. So they always say, do a 40% water change every week, which is what I do. I do a 40% water change on my rainbow fish tank every week. Then today someone's gone, but they're not wild. The tank farm, so they don't need that massive water change. I still think it doesn't matter whether they're farmed or wild, surely they still require the same kind of parameters. So I will stick at doing my 40% water changes. I'll stick at doing that because it works for me. If it didn't work for me, I wouldn't do them and I wouldn't have done a video about it. But it is crazy how everyone has their own little ways of doing it that work for them. But it's also a little bit mad how people can try and slag you off for what works for you. What are your thoughts, Alexander, on GH and KH? Do you need to add buffer, or is it one of those where you're like, it's a load of rubbish? What's your thoughts behind it, buddy? I'm expecting to be banned from a few Facebook groups today. Anyway, I decided to promote my euthanasia video on 10 Facebook groups today. Facebook groups warned me 3 weeks ago when I did a poll on euthanizing fish, and a few banned me and a few warned me about it. So, to push my luck today. So I'm expecting when I come off it, I'm expecting to be banned, but it's pulled in like a couple of 100 views on the euthanasia video. Because if you've not seen the euthanasia video, it is well worth watching, because it's euthanizing fish is something we all have to do. And some people just flush them, and it's so wrong just to flush them. So if you flush your fish when they're dying, it's worth watching the euthanasia video, because it's like, it's not really the done thing. And it's the only way that the RSPCA say to euthanize your fish. So it's well worth watching. But I am expecting to be banned off a few groups later on. When I come off here, I bet I've been banned off about 5 groups today. Because I don't like you doing it. My video is just like not controversial whatsoever. It goes through different methods of how people do it, from putting them down the toilet, blunt force trauma, putting a knife through their heads, phenoxyethanol, goes through all, and then it's at the end, it's the proper way of the RSPCA tell you how to euthanize a fish and how to deal with it afterwards. So it's not controversial at all. But I know it'll get me banned. Jay, you decorating, buddy? When you're finished, if you want to come up here. I think decorating's one of those jobs, buddy, innit, where you sit there, think, right, I need to decorate, and you get all the stuff, and you get everything off the walls, and you move everything, and get everything covered, and as soon as you open that tin of paint and pour a bit into the dish for the roller, and you do that first roll, and you think, what have I started this for? It's like, oh, it is. I do it every time. I bloody hate it. I hate it. I think it is. Alexander, I personally think it's necessary. Otherwise, I wouldn't add it. I kind of tried not doing it, and some of my rainbows I feel suffered for not adding buffers. So yeah, I went back to adding buffers. So yeah, I do add buffers because I think they do benefit from it. But I think if you do add buffers, I think you do have to watch when you're acclimating your fish, because I think a lot of the breeders don't use buffers. So there is that shock value. I think so. And I'll be honest, I personally think more so with like cories. I think corridors. I find in Manchester that corridors don't travel great. That's what I find. If I buy 6 corridors, I'll be honest, I kind of normally find that I'll lose one. I don't find that they travel very well, and I have like my acclimation process now is like 30 minutes to 60 minutes, and I do pour little bits of water in, so you kind of get that GHKH swap a little bit, you know. Yeah, an imbalance can cause blackbeard algae. I used to suffer from blackbeard algae quite a lot, and I do seem to have like a few tweaks have kind of got that under control. Mainly light for me though, I find, Jacks. I don't think I really overfeed. So I think it's more of a light issue for me. One of the most heartbreaking experience with animals in the end of their days explains to me as most noble thing you can do is take suffering. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. I had like 17 years ago, a cat moved into he kept me awake one night. I'd gone to bed, and this croaking, and that's all I can put it to. It was like croaking. It was like noise outside my bedroom window all night. Didn't know what it was. I live next door to a Tesco Express, so I just thought it was something coming from there. And I got up the next morning, this croaking's still going on, and it kept me awake. It kept waking me up all night. I went out, and there was this little cat, and he was underneath my car, and he kind of came out and come to me. And well, the vet reckoned he was about 18-month old at this point, 12 to 18-month old because of his teeth. And he weighed 2 pounds in weight, and someone had shaved his whiskers off. And so I took him down to the vets to see if he'd been chipped. He weren't chipped. And I was like, what do we do from here? And the vet's like, I'll probably put him to sleep. So I was like, you can't do that. He was proper cute. Can't do that, mate. So I ended up taking him, and 17 years later, unfortunately, I did lose him 3 months ago. And I had to have him put down. He'd started having fits. So I'd started giving him CBD oil. And I thought it helped. And then one Saturday night, he had a fit at about 11 o'clock, and he'd come out of it, and then he'd start fitting again. So I ended up having to take him to the vet and having him put to sleep. And it is the hardest decision you have to make, but it's that decision you have to make. And I lost my boy that night. Kind of miss him. He's pretty lovely. I know for a fact that if he'd be here now, he'd be like lay there, because he used to just lie on me all the time. So he would have definitely been part of the live streams for sure. But one thing he never did was affect the tanks. Never. He was never a concern regarding the tanks. Jax, thanks for all your help today, buddy. I really do appreciate it. You've helped me out loads actually today, mate, regarding the CO2, and obviously anyone that's been like listening and reading in the chat. Enjoy your Guinness. Have one for me, mate, if you will. That'd be really good. I do like my Guinness myself. I do like the Brew Dog as well, Black Heart. That's beautiful. But yeah, have a Guinness for me, buddy. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for joining us. And more than anything, thank you so much for the information that you give us today, mate. It's really, really, really appreciate it. I do. Boy Team Gamer, thanks for coming back and rejoining us again today. Thanks, buddy. Hope you are good. Hope your past couple of days have been good for you. It's so painful, Alexander, isn't it? Quick question from Shawnee. As I said, looking to add another tank, looking on Marketplace for a second-hand one, anything I should be looking out for, or is it potluck? It's going to be potluck, mate, and you're going to have to kind of trust the person that's buying it off. One thing I would do, though, mate, if you can actually fill it full of water outside rather than doing it inside, if you can fill it full of water and leave it for 24 hours, I'd put kind of like newspaper around it. If you could do it in a garage or anywhere, you know, just so it's not going to get rained on, and just check for leaks. And once it's been on for 24 hours, I'd go around every corner and every seal and look. And you're going to be able to see if there's water kind of seeping through the seal. It's the only way, but that's something you're going to have to do after you've bought it. If you turn up there and it's full of water, buddy, I think you may be good. Just be careful when you're moving it as well. I'm always a bit wary regarding second-hand tanks, mate, to be perfectly honest. I hope that kind of helps you. I know they are expensive, mate, innit? So second-hand sometimes a good option, but I'm always just wary. I did buy it. I have had a second-hand tank, though, and got a second-hand tank years ago for me, mate, and that was okay. But I had seen it full, so it might be worth, if you've got one in mind and you were going to go and pick it up, ask them to fill it before you get there. And then when you go, you can actually see it full of water. And if they say they're not going to fill it, I'd think twice and just say, right, well, I'll take it, fill it full of water, and if it's right, I'll pay you. You know what I mean? You don't want to get ripped off, do you? For sure, especially on Marketplace. You know what it's like. Well, Alexander, this is the thing. My mum's next door neighbour, she's like real big like animal lover and that, and she'd said try CBD oil because she'd watched a video on YouTube. So I watched the same video, and the guy had his dog was having fits, and all the treatment they tried, it didn't work, and he just tried spraying CBD oil in his food, and it worked, and it stopped him having fits. So that's what I did. But when I took him in, the vet said it seems the way, because he was fitting for like, just wouldn't come out of it. So they did fear that it was a brain tumour, unfortunately. We're not surprised though, the bloody way he'd headbutt me sometimes. I'm surprised I didn't get a brain tumour. He'd like bang you in the head. It's like, but he was awesome though. I do miss him. Like the past 2 weeks, like you have a routine, don't you? And you get up, and as soon as I'd sit down, he'd come and lie on me, and especially in the mornings. And I really do miss having him lay on me. It's weird when you've had something lay on you for 17 years. When you sit down, you kind of feels empty. And you, Jax, cheers, buddy. Have a good evening, mate. Like I say, have a pint on me for sure. I will definitely be having a beer tonight for sure. You never know when the streams go onto the 8 o'clock in the evenings. Friday one might just be having a couple of beers as well. But I don't know if that's allowed with YouTube, so maybe not. Don't know. But I'm saying that there are people that drink live on, do drinking videos, don't they? So can't see why not. I am a bit of a believer, mate. At THC, I do think it kind of helped my cat a little bit. I do. And I have still got some of mine. I ended up trying to like spray it on my dinners and things, see if it helps me. Because sometimes I'm so tired. Sometimes my arms like ache with the job that I do. So yeah, sure, I would, mate. I'd get him to fill it before you go. It's just a good test, isn't it? Ask him to fill it before you leave, before you get there, so you can see if anything seeps through. Definitely the way forward, mate. I have sad news. My neon Tetra died the day after the last stream we did. Oh, sorry to hear that, Team Gamer. Have you checked your water parameters and all that, buddy, just to see? Autocorrect's a nightmare, mate, innit? Hopefully you've done some water tests, mate, and if everything's okay. Sometimes it just happens, doesn't it? Sometimes. I had my Park and Sonai rainbow fish in my tank, and I lost them all on the same day, which was weird. And like all the water parameters were fine. It's just sometimes these things, the things die, and you kind of know, if you can find out why they died, it helps you out, doesn't it? But if you can't find out why they've gone, it's pretty hard. Ammonia spike, yeah, mate. Get a water change done. Get some, depending on where you are, Seachem Prime. I believe that's quite good. So it's a product I've never used, but I believe Seachem Prime's pretty good. Yeah, I agree, Alexander. I do. Like I say, I will probably end up trying to. I should have really done it while as well. I'm gonna try the CBD oil. So I went out and bought, when I went and got the CBD oil from a cat, I went and bought like the really like proper expensive stuff. It was like £75 a bottle. Well expensive, but he was my boy. Kind of had him with me for a massive part of my life. So I went for the expensive stuff because I just thought, well, got to try everything, haven't I? Got to try and keep my boy from having these fits. But yeah, so if I'd have bought a cheap one, I'd have been still, it'd have toyed with my brain that I didn't try enough. At least I know that I tried everything I could to try and save that little boy. But unfortunately, I did lose him. Yeah, get more plants in there, mate. It will help with the ammonia gamer. It will help. My favourite aquarium plant, I personally do love that. The Lotus Tiger Lily. That's definitely up there with my favourites because it's just so easy to look after and stunning. Absolutely stunning. I keep showing you my Blu-ray collection, don't I? I like my films, me guys. I do like my films. And Dexter. Got the Dexter box set up there. And it's nice to see that there's a prequel to Dexter coming out. That should be good. Sorry, I know it's not fish related, but I just showed you all my films, didn't I? So I do use live food, mate. Yeah, Alexander. So I do my own brine shrimp. I culture my own brine shrimp, which I would do more than kind of what I actually do. It's just because the air pump I got with my JBL brine shrimp hatchery is proper noisy. So, hi, just stop spamming the chat, mate. I will answer you, but if you spam the chat, you get deleted like that. So no point doing that, buddy, is it? You just wasted all that time messing about for no reason. No need to spam the chat, mate. Everyone gets the questions answered. Everyone gets spoke to. So yeah, mate. I use frozen foods. My fish mainly do get fed majority frozen food now. So in the UK, you have Pets at Home, and they do their frozen food. They do a mixed quartet, and it's got Cyclops, brine shrimp, Daphnia, and bloodworm. So I pop one of them each, mix them all up, and that's kind of what I feed mine. I love feeding time. I do. It's probably like best part of the hobby after doing scaping. But yeah, I use frozen food more than anything, mate. And I kind of do try and garlic guard it at least once a week as well. Bit of garlic guard in there just helps with the parasites and stuff. Cheers, plug. Thanks, Jay. Now, kind of, time him out. Kind of does your head in. I've had a couple do it today, mate. It's like, what's the point? Try and answer everyone. I was that far behind on the chat earlier, Jay, that my mic went off for 5 minutes, and I didn't even notice until I got to the chat and like, you no mic. I'm like, what? And then I looked through and like loads of people like, mate, no mic. 5 minutes I was waffling on because I got that far behind on chat. But I catch up, don't I? Everyone knows I catch up and I try to read everyone out. I know if there's going to be like, as it grows, I probably won't be able to read everyone out, but at this moment in time, I do. And I try my best to answer everybody. Pets at home have lowered their standards. Yeah, I used to, I never used to really mind getting the odd fish from Pets at Home, Jay. I didn't, but yeah, I think the same. Standards have dropped. You know what? I used to do my head in and go in Pets at Home. So I goes in Pets at Home one day, and I heard this lad say it. I heard this guy say it. So as I walked in, I heard, so there's two members of staff stood there, and they went, if he wants to buy fish, don't let him. So I was like, So I kind of like hung around a little bit, and the guy's like, why? Why not? He goes, because he's always coming in buying fish, so he'll be overstocked. So I'd gone in there and I did. I wanted some shrimp. I was like, right, mate, I want 10 shrimp. He was like, oh, we're not allowed to sell you anything. Why not? Because the manager says that you buy too many fish. So I went, all right, and do you want to get your manager here? So I came. I believe you're saying I get too many fish, mate. Well, yeah. I went, and how many tanks do I have? He was like, I don't know. I went, so how can you make that comment? I've got many tanks, and I do a YouTube channel, mate. Go and check my YouTube channel out. So I've got my phone out, and I'm like, got that. That's empty at the moment. So he's can I not buy anything for me to put in that? Because it's empty. He was like, I didn't know what to say. It's like, don't judge everyone thinking they've got one tank. And I said, I'll be honest with you, mate. I says, I probably know more about fish than every single one of you in this store. So don't even go there. So yeah, it was he ended up selling me anyway. But sometimes just my beds aren't. I can understand them questioning, saying, mate, how many do you have multi tanks? But they just assume, which anyone that assumes someone's just got one tank obviously doesn't know the hobby that well, do they? I'm thinking of getting an angelfish tank for the first time. What's the minimum aquarium size? Personally, team gamer, I'd say 3 foot. I'm not sure. I work on length, me mate. Regarding how many liters. So I'm saying that. So my 4 foot tank there is 240 liters, and that's 4 foot, and that's 300 liters. So I would look 3 foot tank, maybe 150 to 200 liters smallest. But I'd go 3 foot in length and quite a bit of depth, because angelfish grow big, gamer. They do. They grow big. These boys are big now. My angels, well, they're not as big as what they can grow. You probably, because the problem with angelfish, mate, with them being triangular, as they grow down, they grow wide, so they grow big. So yeah, just bear that in mind, mate, when you're going. I'll never put anyone off angelfish, mate, but make sure angelfish are what you want before you get them, because they're not like the most lively fish, if you will. Yeah, they spawn, beautiful looking, they kind of be slightly aggressive, so you have to watch. But they're not exactly the most lively fish. So earlier on, a few streams ago, I pointed out that there's an angelfish in my aquarium that never moves. I pointed him out earlier. If you look, he's still there. He never really moves from there. So that's that. I love angelfish. Obviously, I've got them, but the only issue I have with them is they're a little bit. Don't like saying boring, but they can be a little bit boring, maybe. Say I would in time like to swap them out. You do have to watch. So around my way, there was an aquarium near where I live, and back in the 80s, it was a highly respected shop. I won't say the name, but if you kind of like lived in the Manchester area, you'd be like, this was the place to go in the 80s. And then they moved. So they used to be in like an old church, and it was a great shop. And then they moved. and it was the same owner, but it kind of standard slipped. And then he started selling pet stuff as well. So they started selling like rabbits and chinchillas, and the standards dropped. And for years, you'd be like, you'd go in there and you'd be like, not buying in here. There's dead fish everywhere, and guarantee that you'd walk out with diseased fish. You could pretty much guarantee that. And yeah, it was pretty poor. And it was poor for years, and it actually got closed down. The RSPCA went in with a council, and there was like dead chinchillas in the tanks, in the cages, and dead fish, like I say. And it got closed down, and the guy who owned it got stopped. So he got his pet license revoked, because you need a license to sell pets to do it legally in the UK anyway. And he had his license revoked, and then it reopened within a couple of weeks, and they just got a new pet license under someone else. But now it's closed down permanently. It's been turned into a swingers club. So last year you'd walk out with diseased fish, and this year you'll walk out with something else diseased. So yeah, that's pretty mad. So that's a bit of a crazy story for you, isn't it? And there's me waffling on again. I bet the chat's gone crazy, isn't it? So, Spider Lady, Kim, hi guys. How are you doing, love? Are you okay? Hope you're well. Hope the chat show us some love. Say hello to Spider Lady. Hope you are well. I hope enjoy your stay here. This is like a worldwide fish club meeting now, where I just waffle on for ages, but we're getting people from all over the world, Kim, that come in, and the knowledge that has been entering these chats has been absolutely brilliant. Early on today, we've had someone called Jax, and they've now gone to the pub. They made sure they let us know they were going to the pub before they went, but they've been so helpful today on like the CO2 side of growing plants, which is something I'm learning. And so yeah, I've learned quite a lot regarding the fertilization of the CO2 tank plants. So that was good. So we've had that today. Wednesday was just a phenomenal day. We had this guy in. I think he was from Australia. Pretty sure he was from Australia. And he was a seahorse breeder. So like, I'm starting these fish room chats. I'm doing it because I like to do this. I like to sit in front of the camera. I like to read the chat and try and answer what I can. I won't answer what I can't answer. So I won't like BS you, and I'll tell you if I don't know. I'll tell you I don't know everything at the end of the day. But when you're getting people in that breed seahorses, it's brilliant. It's just really good. You're getting that knowledge. We've had a lady in for a good few of the streams, a lady called Anna. She's got a 46-year-old frog. 46-year-old frog. I didn't even know frogs lived 6-year-old, let alone 46. So see, that's kind of what you've entered into, Kim. It's really good. You don't have to have any knowledge, because you can learn. Questions get answered, or questions get asked, and if we've got the answers, we will. People in the chat are answering questions that people are asking. So yeah, welcome to the channel. Hopefully you enjoy your stay here. Oh, that's sad, isn't it? Bought 30 fish and only 5 managed to survive. It's got to be so careful. Aquafunk, thanks for joining us today. Hello, fish freaks and geeks. You've been lurking. You can lurk as much as you want, buddy. Lurk, chat, everything. It's all good. That's what we're all here for. We're all just here to learn. I'm learning loads. I've been in this hobby for over 40 years, and I'm learning loads. And there we go, actually. Anna's in. I've just been talking about your frog, Anna. So reset on the frog tank. Everything's scrubbed, sterilised and boiled. Just putting back. Been going for 5 hours. I know, I'm doing fine, mate. Yeah, I'm doing really well. We've been on since I think it came on about 5 to 2 British time. It's been on like 165. No, it can't. Been on a while anyway, mate. I'm saying 100. The time's saying 165 minutes, but I don't know if that's right. Wow, just time flies when you're doing these, guys. It does, and like, so yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I'm doing fine, Anna. Thank you. Hopefully, your frog's doing okay. Out of interest, Anna, have you named your frog? I would have thought after 46 years, he must have a name or a nickname or whatever. When you have stream, Sammy are doing 4 streams a week at the moment. This will be, so the streams are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. For the past 2 weeks, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we've started doing the Fish Club meeting, and that's been at 2 p.m. pretty much every day. One day I started a few minutes later, and then we started early. It's just if I'm waiting to come on stream, I may as well just come on stream. But the 2 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, Friday slot's going to move to 8 p.m. next week. I'm back in work, so we'll do like 8 till 10. Won't probably be able to go on after 10 due to the lights on the tanks going out. Friday might go a little bit later. It just depends how many people are in. The Saturday stream will start at 2 o'clock. Saturday stream has been absolutely brilliant. Last Saturday, the stream on Saturday was incredible. And we had people from all over the world, so that's good. We've had today. We have had a few people in from America, and they're all safe, so that's good to know. So if there is anyone that's in at the moment from America and you've been suffering from this stop, keep safe, guys. I hope your family's doing good as well. So he's just called Frog. Hey, I do the same. I don't name mine. The only fish I've ever named are my betters. I've named my betters. I've only really ever had 2 betters, and they've both. One was named Highlander, and the other one was named McLeod. And if you're familiar with the Highlander films, then you'll understand. The only one. There can be only one. We will make your frog famous, Anna. We will make your frog famous. Because he's an old boy and he needs to be famous for being that old. Cheers, Jay. I didn't actually clock what he'd said then. I had 13 tanks renamed. The ones the biggest personalities. I'm sure can have such different manners. So they certainly can, Anna. They can, yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? How they all have their own little personalities. It's brilliant. It really is. Sammy Fire, cheers, buddy. Thanks for joining us today, mate. Hope you have a great evening. Cheers, Alexander. I am totally mental, mate. Totally. No, thanks for joining us today, mate. It's been great talking to you, and thanks for spending so much time in here today, mate, and having a good chat. I appreciate it. Enjoy your evening, and whatever it is you're up to, I hope you have a good time, buddy. We are back on tomorrow afternoon, mate, at 2 o'clock. And if you can get a chance to watch the new video on the CO2 tank build, mate, it would be nice if you could let us know a bit of feedback on the comments in the video, mate, of what you think of it. Go easy on me though. It's my first proper tank build that I took the video seriously. I take my tank build serious, but the video was I have spent a bit of time on the video, so I'd be appreciate it, mate, if you could. Have a good evening, guys. Have a good evening. Frog's holding on to the Filt power card. Let's talk about all the plants. We'll try to get some plants. Oh, you stripped him all his plants, mate. He's awesome, though, isn't he? He's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, it's been good today. We've learned about quite a lot about fertilization of plants in CO2 tanks. So I've just set up a CO2 tank. Well, I've had a CO2 tank running for like 18 months. I broke it down 7 weeks ago, something like that, and rebuilt it. And the video got launched on my channel today at 3:15. So yeah, I'd beg anyone to go and watch it if they can. But yeah, we've learned today loads, because it's a learning curve, and it can be quite frightening adding CO2 to your tank, because if you overdose them, you can kill your fish. So it's good that people have been in today teaching us all this. Thanks, Alex. I really appreciate it, mate. I appreciate you coming in and supporting the channel, buddy. Thank you. I suggest some fish to go with your glow widow tetras. Are they the genetically modified ones, Deb? Ashik Deb, thanks for joining us today, mate. Glow widow tetras, are they the ones that are quite frowned upon? Thanks, Shari. Take care, buddy. But anything to go with tetras, mate. Other tetras. Rainbow fish are good with the larger size tetras. It's a bit of a mad one, mate. You just go watch. Some tetras are aggressive, some aren't. Just got to keep an eye on it. Like 2 different types of same fish in one species, really. So Anna, today, to be honest, it's been mainly about the planted aquariums. We've had a bit of a chat regarding euthanasia. I'm kind of expecting to have been banned from a few Facebook groups today. I did a poll on a few Facebook groups 3 weeks ago, just before I launched, or just before I did the video on euthanizing fish. And I got banned from a few then and warned off a few regarding polling it. And all I was doing was asking how people euthanize the fish. And then I've done the video on euthanasia. It's like, it's so not controversial. It's like, it's great. It's a great video. No one's like moaned on the comments about it. So it's like not controversial whatsoever. And I have so Fridays on the Facebook groups, you can kind of promote your YouTube channel on them. So I decided, so if you are going to promote a video on YouTube, on Facebook, it's best to do the ones that are a bit more controversial. It's hard to do a controversial thumbnail on aquarium stuff, but euthanizing is controversial and water changes are controversial. So I've kind of like spammed the Facebook groups today. I know I won't get banned for the water change one, but the euthanizing one, there's some comments coming on there already on Facebook, and people are kicking off. So I'm expecting to be banned. But it had pulled in like 200 views on one video. So if I get banned, I get banned. I do, Jay. Tetras are awesome. Tetras and Rasboras. One of my favourites is the neon green Raspora. Absolutely beautiful. Bloody love them. Bloody love them. All tech versus no tech. Which do you prefer? Kwamata, thanks for joining us today, buddy. Yeah, mate. So I kind of run both, mate. I have low tech ish. I run good lighting though on all my tanks, so technically none of them are real low tech, if you will. And I run CO2 in one. I run CO2. It's a learning curve for me, but the difference in growth rate, the difference in health, although you can't knock the health on that, can you? But is massive, mate. It's massive. And I'll be honest, I am considering introducing CO2 into this aquarium. It's something I really do want to do. So yeah, I definitely, but it brings its other like difficulties, mate. So like if you're filling a big tank just full of easy plants that you can trim once a week and replant and don't have to worry about things like anubias, and okay, Java fern might need a little bit of work, but nothing like major. It's not, it's not like you're gonna go, oh no, I'm gonna have to spend an hour working on my Java fern. You're not. So if you're going down the easy road, you're gonna be okay without them. But even easy plants, just like with CO2 added to it, is just like phenomenal. The slowest growing anubias plants grow at like rapid rate. In 6 weeks, I've already had to trim the anubias back in my CO2 tank, and tomorrow I will have to trim back the anubias again because it's growing rapid. So yeah, CO2 makes a massive difference, mate. It's just whether you can afford it and the fertilization that comes with that. Because I'll be honest, I've been buying APT3, which is an all-round fertilizer, and it turns out that I do need to add. I wrote it down, guys. I did write it down because my memory's short. So yeah, I need to buy iron for the red plants and some phosphorus. So yeah, it's one of those. It's a learning curve today. So I've learned that off Jax today, who came in earlier, who's now gone to the pub. I keep mentioning it because I keep thinking pub. What are people upset about, Anna? Right. So with euthanasia, what's happening is so there's different ways to euthanize a fish. You can just flush it down the toilet. You can blunt force trauma. You can stick a knife through its head. Ice bath. Phenoxyethanol are the methods that people use that are kind of like frowned upon. So dumping them, flushing them, it's not an instant death. So, and then they're in the like you're in the sewage. They may not die instantly, so they might be laying sewage for an hour, which obviously is like proper cruel. And then so people put in the comments or just flush it, and then you've got them people telling the people that flush it that they're out of order, and then you end up with massive arguments. And like one guy was like, today he was like, but you're saying that flushing a fish can contaminate the waterways, but the sewage and the waterways are two different things. So you're lying. Why are you lying? And I'm like, do you live in the UK, mate? Do you know how many thousands of tons of sewage have been dumped into our waterways this year? So why are you coming on saying this if you don't know what you're going on about? He never replied. So yeah, that's kind of where it all comes from. Then you've got blunt force trauma, knife through the brain. People are just like proper like, no, and really criticizing it. Ice bath is okay for just small fish. If you're going for the bigger fish, it's just a slow, painful death. So like, obviously I'll go through everything now. So flushing it down the toilet, no chance. Blunt force trauma, no chance. Knife through the head. Okay, if you know what you're doing, probably is instant, but you're also risking injuring yourself. Phenoxyethanol is a good way of killing fish, but it doesn't have any anything in it to stop the pain, so it'd still be in pain when it dies. Phenoxyethanol is used quite a lot in the koi carp world, I believe. And then kind of the only way to euthanize a fish that is recommended by the RSPCA is clove oil. And that's like, I think it's 4 mil of clove oil to every litre of water. And that takes care of them quite quickly. And the RSPCA say once the gills stop moving, 30 minutes after that, they're kind of classed as dead. And then you freeze them and bury them, not flush them, because you don't want to contaminate your waterways. So that is the way of doing it. So if you want a recap on that, watch the video. But yeah, people get upset with it. I know it's crazy. It's just like, and I'm sure people just make these comments sometimes to cause a reaction. Yeah, Anna. And I've been getting banned for bringing up the subject. It's crazy because it's something we all have to do. So if we all have to do it, and 95% of us are doing it wrong, why not talk about it and get people to do it right? But yeah, there's some of the Facebook groups kind of like proper hate me for bringing it up. Quamata, I use I wouldn't say call like an active substrate as such. I do use aqua soil in all my aquariums. I have a belief when you are doing aqua soil, you can go down the cheap route, you can go down the expensive route. But I'm a bit of a believer of going down the more expensive soils, so you're giving your plants the best chance. That's kind of how I am, mate. So I do use tropic soil in pretty much all my tanks. Tropical soil or fluval stratum, use that as well. But yeah, there's like, I'm a believer of using the better substrates. Samak Halder, thanks for joining us today, buddy. Hope you're well. I was in your last stream and I was asking about Monte Carlo and why it was dying in my high-tech tank. I replanted it again and it still hasn't melted. Do you have any advice? Okay, buddy. So yeah, Monte Carlo. Unfortunately, mate, if you'd kind of probably been in half an hour ago, there was someone called Jax in here and they've been running the CO2 systems a lot longer than me, and they've given me some great advice today. So, yeah, I'm kind of really, really good at killing Monte Carlo, buddy. The tank behind me was set up on the setup that originally had Monte Carlo, and I wanted to use it as an epiphyte. I think it does need CO2. I think it does need high light. So it didn't work as an epiphyte for me. So I ended up putting proper epiphytes in there. That's what I did. So I set up my CO2 tank and thought, okay, now is the time to get that Monte Carlo carpet going that you've longed for. But again, just died away. So now I've got a dwarf hairgrass at the front because that carpet's really, really well. But I've learned a little bit more today, Samak. So I'm struggling with my Amania. It's called Amania something Salata Gold. Not 100% sure what it's called. It's a crazy name. And I've been told to get some phosphorus. So yeah, this is the thing. So I've been using a complete fertilizer, and apparently, even though you're using a complete, you may need to add certain things. So I'm going to order some phosphorus. I am going to order some iron, and then I've got all at hand of what I'll need, and then I can have a look at just reintroducing. So maybe Sumac is where I'm going here with the Monte Carlo. There is a possibility because, like I say, it's got a good substrate. It gets APT fertilizer, so I assumed that'd be like the best you can get. It's got good lighting, but it was still dying. So all I can assume now, maybe it was dying because it may needed additional iron, or it may have needed additional phosphorus. It's something I have to look into. But But yeah, maybe that's what the problem was. Additional fertilizers. So when I come off stream today, I will look at ordering some additional fertilizer, and then hopefully a month of using different fertilizers and trying to get that right, I may then notice a massive difference in like my red plants and the gold plant and say, right, I now know what I'm doing and I can kind of spread the word a little bit. But I'm not one that's going to come on here and say, do this, do that if I don't know, because I'm not going to give you any like dodgy info. I'd rather say to you, I'm not sure, don't know, than give you bad information and ruin your setup, because there's too much money involved. There's way too much money involved to be giving out false info. I hope that kind of helps you out there. So, by any chance, can I get your email so I can keep in contact? Best thing to do, mate, to keep in contact with me is BGN Aquariums on Instagram. And you can DM me there, buddy. Kind of keep things like my email just for me personal stuff, mate. But yeah, you can contact me on Instagram, mate. I'm also on Facebook as well, buddy. BGN Aquariums on both. So if you go into my YouTube channel, there will be links that'll take you onto those as well, mate. But yeah, you can DM me there. I'm quite surprised, really, that you can't DM people on YouTube, because I'm friends with a YouTuber that does shrimp, and he's helped me out loads, and I know he has an Insta account, but he never goes on it. And I want to get into his DMs to say I want to invite him as a guest to the fish club meetings one day, because he's helped me out loads, and to be honest, it's a bit cheeky, really. So he's helped me out. He's helped me grow my channel by promoting my videos. He's given me advice, because I did quit the YouTube thing about a year ago, just over a year ago. I quit it for a few months, and he got in touch with me and asked why. And he kind of gave me the advice to narrow it down to more of a niche market, that's hence like why it's rainbow fish based now. And he does promote my videos from time to time on his channel with his community. So he helps me so much. But he's got like 30,000 subscribers, and I've got just over 2, even though I'm obviously grateful for my 2,000 subscribers. But for me to promote one of his videos on my channel is a little bit like 2,000 people. It's like taking a wee in the sea, and you know what I mean? It's not going to make much of a difference to him. Whereas when he promotes one of my videos to his 30,000, it helps. You know, it'll pull in a few hundred views on one of my videos, and you can only ever be so grateful for that. So I would like to get into his DMs and invite him in to do a collaboration, like have him as a special guest, because I do get asked quite a lot about shrimp. So it would be nice to have him come in, because what he knows about shrimp is just like, it's amazing. He's wrote books on shrimp and everything. So yeah, that's it. Get everyone subscribing to the channel, guys. Like the channel, show the chat some love. It's the only way this channel is growing. So like the last stream, we broke 2,000 subscribers, which was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It'd be intriguing to see how much they go up today. They tend to go up at the moment. They're like going up every stream. It's going up like 30 to 40 subscribers. Just a real great way of growing the channel. So that's kind of where I'm at. Imad Mamluki, I pronounce your name right, I hope. Thanks for joining us today, buddy. Hope you are well. Are you a fish keeper yourself? Whereabouts in the country or whereabouts in the world are you? Seeing it's not just a country, it's a worldwide fish club. So hope you're good. We did have someone in earlier that did the super thanks. I'm not going to say the name out, but they gave us super thanks, which was proper made my day. I will never ask people to donate to the channel or to support the channel. I know I do the thing on the chat there, but that's just to try and get this YouTube thing to try and make me a little bit of money. But I do appreciate all the help. I appreciate people pressing the like button. I appreciate pressing the share button, the subscription button. I appreciate everybody's contribution to the channel. I really do. And I will take the time now. Jay, on as a plug, he's one of my moderators. Does a great job for me, and I really do appreciate it. You're from Iran? Wow, mate. I hope you're safe over there. It's hard pronouncing some names, mate. You don't want to offend anybody. I know with my surname sometimes. It's quite funny when people try and read out my surname. It's crazy. I have a French surname. I'm not French by any means, like, but I have a French surname. And it's like you see people, you know, when you're waiting for something and they get a name and they read you out and you see them and you're like, right, it's me. Because like, what's this? Dahlia Booman, thanks, buddy. Tank looks beautiful. Thank you. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will. I'll give everybody a bit of a tour of the tank. Say, we'll have a tour of the tank. I just need to unplug you from the power source. I maybe need to just watch because I think this is where I may have muted everyone before for 5 minutes. So, which was a great move. So what I'll do, I'll start you off on the rainbow tank, guys. So that's a rainbow fish tank, fully planted. The plant at the bottom there, the lotus tiger lily. So if you've been in the streams earlier, you'll know that I do really like. I love lotus tiger lilies, guys. I love them. This one got trimmed back a few weeks ago, so at the moment it's quite low down in the aquarium, as you can see there. It's only really coming out, just to get you a gist of it, about the size of my hand. So it's not growing up that far at the moment. It's around about 10 inches. It did get trimmed right back. You can see some of the leaves there that have got holes in there. So tomorrow on the live stream tomorrow, they'll get taken off as well. All the plant's going to try and do there is repair them holes, and it won't be successful. So there's not much point letting it. So if I trim them off, it is getting better, this plant now. It went through a bit of a dodgy stage. I have put my own made root tabs in there, but I am noticing, I don't know if you can, so if you can see that there, I'll point it out. So that little curled up leaf there is a new leaf forming. So it looks like the root tabs that I've put in, that I've made, are doing okay. We have got a fish tank tour video coming out next Friday, actually, guys. It's massively Anubias based, this. That's my little brine shrimp hatchery that I would run a lot more if the air pump was silent. But as we all know, air pumps don't really run silent. So yeah, this is the Forestscaped angelfish tank. As you can see there, the lotus tiger lily, exactly the same plant as the one that was in the rainbow fish tank. But you can see this one at the moment, guys, is proper thriving. That's just like something else. Sexy plant, sexy plant. And then the rest is just Anubias. At the front, we planted some sag last week on the stream. That's all growing in nicely now. I've had to replant. Oh, here we go, guys. So if we look here, okay, so that's the white, the albino is female. The other one's male, obviously. Can you see the fry? Show some love to the fry, guys. So yeah, we've got fry in here at the moment. Oh, hopefully you can see them all on the white gravel. They are. If I can try and come down a little bit. Hopefully you can see the fry there now. But yeah, guys, there's some my cribs breed all the time. So yeah, it's nice to get a bit of life, isn't it, in your tanks? So, and then the next one is My shrimp tank, all again fully planted. I introduced air stone into there today, because you can see there's a couple of little dead areas. So I'm hoping that introducing air into there will kind of help with those dead spots. And this is my Neocaridina red cherry shrimp tank. There's loads in here, guys. There is loads in here, but they do hide away sometimes. So that's the shrimp tank. In fact, I've not put the lid on proper, so let me just put that lid back on, because I did, like I say, I was working in there before. I put the another airline in there before, and then the one that today's video that launched at 3:15 is my CO2 tank, and that's the one that's taking all my time at the moment. Taking it like, it's the one I'm learning about. But yeah, my CO2 tank, that's kind of love that. If you want to know how I built that, guys, that's the video that's been launched on my channel today at 3:15. CO2 tank build. Go easy on me if you watch it. I'd like to know what everyone thinks of it, to be perfectly honest. Go easy on me though. I'm not by any means anywhere near to the point where MD is when he does his build videos. Got to give it to that lad, because it's not the easiest thing to do a build video and have it interesting where people stay. So it'd be nice if people can watch the CO2 tank build, guys. I would really appreciate it, and I'd really appreciate your feedback on that as well, guys. I would, like I say, go easy on me though. My name's Russ. If you watch my videos, mate, I do introduce myself on the videos. Been in the hobby for over 40 years. Don't know half of what there is to learn about this hobby. This hobby is just a hobby where you learn daily. I've learned loads in the last 2 weeks doing these streams. It's been really, really good. Sion, thanks for joining us today. I actually don't have any black water, mate. No. Something I've never really looked into. To be honest, mate, I like crystal clear water. It's kind of what I like. And I know, like, they can look good, like neon cardals and neon tetras and things like that can look great in black water. But yeah, I kind of like crystal clear water. I kind of pride myself on looking in the tank and thinking, God, is there any actual water in that? You know? Yeah, guys, if we just bear with me, guys. I do try and cover. I try and read out every single comment on chat. I do. As you will notice, I do waffle on a bit. And when I do like things like showing you around the tanks, obviously I'm not really reading the chat then, because I have to turn the camera around. But yeah, if you can just like not spam the chat, I will get round to you. I will read out your message, and I will try and answer your message if it's a question, obviously. But yeah, if you can just not spam the chat, it just doesn't help, because I'm trying to keep up with the chat, and you end up people spamming it, and you end up, you kind of lose what people say. So if people spam the chat, it kind of takes maybe the opportunity of reading someone else's out, So Dahlia, yeah, mate, I've been in this hobby for over 40 years, and I'm still learning, mate. I'm still learning. Technically, you're still at 40 years into this hobby. Sometimes you still feel new, because there's that much to learn. And in all fairness, what I do on my tanks might not work for somebody else. And that's the thing with this hobby, and that's the beauty of having these fish clubs. So, in my shrimp tank GH tests at between 3 and 5. That's where I try to keep it. Whereas we had a guy from California or Florida came in last week, and his Neocaridina shrimp, exactly the same type of shrimp, thrive at a GH testing at 180. So you can see like how things change so much in this hobby. It's like it can blow your head off. So if you're new to the hobby, do your research. I actually do a video which kind of covers a lot of the research that you need to do to set up an aquarium. It's the Aquarium Keepers Checklist. So it's worth looking at, but yeah, do as much research as possible. If you kind of know what you want to set a tank up for before you set your tank up, that's great. You know, if you've got a certain fish in mind, then you can set up the tank around that. Like this tank was set up for rams. I wanted German blue rams, electric blue rams, and I set it up for it. But it's where research kind of kicks in, really. I set it up. There's nine caves in this aquarium. 9 caves that I made, and then 2 shop bought caves as well. And ended up getting dead spots for the filtration, so I had to up the filtration so the caves weren't getting dead spots. Expert gamer, don't spam the chat, buddy. You see, it doesn't help, mate. I'm trying to talk to people, and when you come on doing things like that, it doesn't help, but it's just like gets you banned and things like that, mate. So yeah, so if you can stop spamming the chat, mate, that'd be really appreciated. Yeah, Dahlia, if you're new to the hobby, all I can say, like, research, test your source water, and make sure you know what you're putting in your aquarium for a start, somewhere what you need to be at. There's no point if you've got like soft water, there's no point going out buying fish that thrive in hard water, if you know what I mean. So yeah, just make sure, do that research, make sure you know what you want to get. As I was saying, I'd set this up for rams, and there was dead spots in the caves. So I ended up putting more filtration in, because at the time I had an Oase filter. So I put an internal filter in there as well to create a bit more flow. But what I actually did there by creating more flow was upset the rams, because it become too much flow for the rams. So you kind of got to come up with a happy medium for what's right. Don't have the rams anymore. Couldn't really get it right, so it wasn't fair to keep them. So yeah, changed everything around, and changed the fish, and now it's like angel fish. There's plenty of cories in there that whip up and they go through the caves. I've upped the filtration a little bit more anyway now, but the cories help with the dead points in the aquarium as well. Expert gamer, mate, you're not helping the cause by spamming the chat, mate. It's a bit more of an adult club, this, buddy. It's something where we all have a bit of a chat. We all try to help each other. Spamming the chat is just going to make you look like a bit of a fool, and it'll end up getting you blocked, buddy. So if you're going to come in and just spam the chat, you may as well leave. It's as simple as, mate. Because it doesn't help. You don't help. It doesn't get your thing read out. I try and read out everyone's, but what it'll actually do is end up stopping you getting your stuff read out, mate. So yeah, Dahlia, hopefully, love, hopefully you get into the hobby. Is there anything that you're actually, is there any type of fish that you're actually planning on getting, Dahlia, or is it too early? Are you not at that stage yet? If you're going to set up your first tank, just be aware that sounds daft, but smaller tanks are a lot harder to look after than bigger tanks, which sounds crazy, but it's just to do with the volume of water. you can make a lot more mistakes on a bigger tank than what you can on a little tank, especially regarding water quality. But guys, we have been on for, what are we on now? 3.5 hours we've been on today. Good. Nice little betta. I do love bettas, I do. I just don't really have the setup for them. I did have, like I said, I had a betta in my shrimp tank because my shrimp were failing. And then all of a sudden my shrimp kind of like blew up. So I ended up, my mate ended up taking my betta because my betta was munching on my shrimp. So, but I do love bettas. Just don't really know much about bettas, only that they are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's crazy to think that in how they live, like in the wild, bettas, to see something like that can be so stunning. Crazy. So Dahlia, right? Yeah. So it's always going to be harder cycling your first aquarium. It's always going to be, unless you know somebody who's got an aquarium. And I say that. So I do a video on cycling aquariums, Dahlia, so it might be worth watching, but I will kind of touch into it. So there's a few different ways of cycling your aquarium, and there's definitely like one that I don't mention in the video because I don't know anything about it. So there's like a thing called goop, and apparently you can add goop, and it pretty much just neutralifies everything. So you kind of cycle your tank, but you can add fish to it because it'll neutralize the ammonia and the nitrites, etc. I've never used it, so I wouldn't like to 100% swear on it. And I believe Seachem Prime does exactly the same. It kind of detoxifies like ammonia and the nitrites. So there are things like that you can use. So you can do, so you can add fish straight away. I only really use, there's 3 different ways of like cycling tanks. I am in tomorrow, Anna, yeah. Just seeing you pop up there, mate. I am in tomorrow, buddy. Yeah, from 2 o'clock, mate, it'll be. So going back to cycling the tank, you can do the fishing cycle, which is kind of frowned upon. And I'll be honest, I do fishing cycles. I do. I do it right though. I keep up with the water tests and I do the water changes when needed. But yeah, check out the video. There's different ways you can add ammonia and add beneficial bacteria and do it the old school way, which, you know, by not adding fish, just adding ammonia and creating that cycle. So it goes from ammonia to nitrate to nitrite, and you can do that until there's no tests, or you're testing 0 for ammonia and nitrite, and then you know your tank settled or cycled, and you can put your fish in there. Or you can, like I say, you can do the fishing method, which is exactly the same as doing water changes. If you come up with ammonia spikes in your water, but you just got to be careful. You get away with it on bigger tanks because obviously, like I say, the larger volume of water helps loads so than it does small tank. But as for cycling it, if you want to go for another tank, kind of buy the filter a month early, if you will. So if you're buying another tank and you buy your filter a month earlier, get the media from that new filter and put it in your tanks. If you can add it to your existing filter, even better, without moving any of the filter media out. And what that'll do is start picking up beneficial bacteria. So in a month, the amount of beneficial bacteria that will form in that new media will be great then to transfer over to your new aquarium, and your filter pretty much cycles straight away. So that helps out loads. It's called seeding. Well, you can do it that way, or you can seed it. So if you don't have time to do that, so when this tank here, the oasis started leaking, and once it started leaking, that's it. Confidence is gone, and it's time for a new filter. So the oasis is the main filter in that tank. So I had to go out and buy a new filter. I bought the FX4. So what you have there then is a cycled tank with an uncycled filter. So how do you deal with it? So what I did, you can seed your filter media. So when I set up the FX, before I put it all together, I squoze the filter media from the Awase. I squoze all that poop and everything into the new filter, and I built it all up. And what that's done is just transferred a load of that beneficial bacteria from your old filter into the new filter. So it kind of cycles your filter straight away. I did keep doing water tests just to make sure it was okay, and never came across any spike in ammonia or nitrites. So you can seed an aquarium, but you need to do that from someone, either from your old filtration system yourself, or like I say, if you know someone in the hobby. Sometimes shops will give you a squeeze of their filter as well, so it helps you seed it. I will be on tomorrow, Anna, at 2 o'clock, buddy. I know I kind of answered. I've just read it out again anyway. But yeah, 2 o'clock. As from 2 o'clock, the stream will kick in tomorrow. I saw bronze corridors in your tank. For some reason, mine never spawned. I know. You know what, Emad? Yeah. I do see them spawning, but I don't get eggs from them because I think they just get picked off by the other fish. Cold water change will help, mate. Partial water change, drop the temperature. It makes your corridors think that they're coming into autumn and they'll spawn. That cold water just triggers a spawning thing with them. But they have no parental responsibilities, mate. So they will eat their own eggs, and other fish will eat their own eggs. So if you can get them to spawn into mops, happy days. If not, then unfortunately, probably lose them. Right, guys, I am going to call it a day today. I'm feeling pretty peckish. I've been on stream today for 212 minutes. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit peckish, guys. So I am going to call it a day. The stream will resume tomorrow. We'll do another Fish Club meeting at 2 o'clock. That'll be while I do the maintenance on my aquariums, and then we'll come back into this format as we do every week. Hopefully you can join us. We are a great community growing. If you could spend any time of your day just to watch my latest video, which is the CO2 tank build, or introduce yourself to my stream or to my channel anyway and watch some of my videos, I'd really appreciate that. They're all informative. They're all kind of rainbow fish based, but if you take the rainbow fish out and put community fish in there, that works exactly the same. It's down to my channel first kicked off as a community tank channel, but the niche is too big, so I had to narrow it down to rainbow fish. But if you are a community tank fish owner, then watch my videos. I think you'll find them interesting. Show love to everybody that's been in the chat today. I really appreciate everyone that's been in the chat today. Emad, thank you so much for subscribing, buddy. If there's anybody in the chat that's not a subscriber, ding that subscribe button, click the like button. See you tomorrow. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend if you don't come back. And I will see you all tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Take care. Thanks for being in here today. Thanks, Dahlia. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. See you soon. Well, see you tomorrow.